Matt Josh, hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
How we doing?
I'm doing
Good.
great. Doing great.
You are?
I am. I had a great weekend.
You did?
I did.
What'd you do?
Friday I did nothing. I did nothing Friday. Like I just chilled out, hung out, watched sports and went to bed at a reasonable time and had a couple pops and just hung out with roommate Dan. It was a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And then Saturday was Derby Day. That was phenomenal. That was
What'd
great.
you do?
I bet the winner.
No. What'd you do?
How many did you bet to win?
See, okay, I'm going to be real with you guys right now. I knew as soon as I sent the ticket in, there was going to be you weren't really confident about it, because I bet $10 for at the time,
Oh, that's fine.
the 31-1 horse to win. The money came in, he ended up getting lowered to 23-1. But yes, I bet $10. I actually made a clerical error. I said on the show on Friday, and I had in my notes in my phone, and I sent text messages to people where I bet the winning horse $15. But for whatever reason, I got panicked. And when I was up making my own bets, I only put 10 on them. So
Interesting.
You're filibustering.
I only walked away with
How many horses did you bet?
To win.
2.
You only bet 2 horses to win?
Okay.
Potente and Golden Tempo.
How many horses did you bet to show?
5.
How many different horses did you have a bet on a podium finish?
7.
That's
By the way,
I wanna-
the field.
I want to clarify real quick. I thought you said how much did you bet for him to win? Okay. I bet 7. I had a 5. Well,
7 horses out of 19 you could have bet. You bet.
6 actually. One of them was Golden Tempo was in both 2 win and the exact.
There you
So
go.
it was 6.
So you bet a third of the field. What do you think? I think it's fine.
I don't have any problem with
Yeah.
it. I don't have any problem that he sent the
Well, yeah,
picture.
we're just trying to find out.
Yeah.
We're trying to do the math on if you can go around telling people that you correctly predicted something
I bet on 3 horses
when you were
on
really
Saturday.
just shooting fish in a barrel. But it's close. There's a real discussion to be had here.
I had a 5 horse exacta box, which was I'm betting first and second place. Completely failed on that because I didn't have the 1. And then I bet 14 and 19 to win. I think that's valid. I think also too, I doubled my money. Like I went in there with I'll talk about my figures. I bet $115 on the entire race, and I walked away with $250. Like that is enough. The fact that I doubled my money to me is enough to be like, hell yeah.
I did
I'm
the
a
same
winner.
thing on blackjack on Saturday. it's,
How-
pretty, it's pretty good.
How many hands could you play?
I don't know. I probably sat there for like 45 minutes.
Wow, and you doubled your money?
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
It's good.
I find that when I win at blackjack, it is in the quickest amount of time possible. Like if I'm at a blackjack table for longer than 20 minutes, I am walking out of there with no chips. I'm done. There's no way. If I'm there for 10, I probably I either got killed or I'm out.
I have
good.
found there's a certain level of satisfaction if just you grind out to being even, but you've been at the table for like 90 minutes. To
Some
2
nights
hours.
that's what it's got to be. Some nights you got it though.
I
you
walk
know?
away from it. I'm like, that was 2 hours of being entertained. I spent no money.
it's a great
I
mindset.
come out even. I probably got drinks on the whole thing. Like I'm okay with that.
It's a great mindset.
It's the one where I get buried in 20 minutes and it's like I never got, like the fight starts and Mike Tyson knocks you out immediately. And it's like there's all that buildup.
You never got
There's
to
all
enjoy
of
it.
this. And here I'm just on my back on the canvas and I can't get up.
That's it.
I've always said that
Those are the ones that make me not want to show up.
if you do it correctly, you can really turn a casino into a grown-up Dave & Buster's. Some would argue that
That's what it is.
the casino is way more profitable than Dave & Buster's. I've never went into a Dave & Buster's and ended
Some
up.
would
Well, you
argue
pretty
that
much-
one of the biggest businesses in the entire.
No, I'm talking about from your.
you have literally
pers-
no chance to win money at Dave & Buster's.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying you can never.
I want to meet the people that are arguing against it.
Yeah, I know.
Who
But
is
you can-
arguing on behalf that Dave & Buster's is more successful than a casino?
No, not successful. I'm saying that you can't. You can walk out of a casino with money. You've never walked out of a Dave & Buster's,
which is what
with
he's
money.
saying, which was what makes
Yeah.
which is what makes it impossible for you to win money at a Dave
Well,
& Buster's.
some would argue that, like, hey, like I go to
Stop
Dave.
saying someone argue.
Okay, I'm saying.
That's what got you here.
Wait, you're saying this?
No, I'm not.
Oh.
He's some, but he's also I.
So what are you saying, man?
All right, I'm done. He can say it.
What are you saying?
You know what I'm trying to say.
I actually don't.
Okay.
That's why I was confused.
There are people who are anti-gambling, okay? And they would say, well, a Dave and Buster's is better than a casino because you go in there and you know what amount of money you're going to lose, and you enter, and the
I would
entertainment
think
is
that
the point.
Anti-gambling people are pretty out on Dave and Buster's.
Really?
Oh, wouldn't you think? Mike, free Mike, what do we got on Dave and Buster's? Are we out? Because it feels like we would be out on that.
That would be amazing.
That would be
They
incredible.
release like press releases like we
Yeah.
do not support Dave and Buster's.
I mean, I would love to know if Bet Free Mike looks at Dave and Buster's as like the minor leagues of gambling. It's like, this is how it starts.
I have
like,
never been
this
to a
is-
Dave and Buster's, by the way.
It's great. It's awesome.
Really?
Never been.
There's a Dave and Buster's by the Big Ten headquarters.
Oh,
That's the Dave and Buster's I grew up going to.
the official Dave and
Okay.
Buster's of the Big Ten?
Yeah.
By the Fogo de
Wow.
Chao.
So you literally, we went to Dave and Buster's, then went to the Fogo de Chao.
You're supposed to eat at Dave and Buster's.
No, we don't eat at Dave.
Ah, dude, I ate some Dave and Buster's.
So I've never been to any of the, like, I've never been to a Chuck E. Cheese. I've
You've never been to a Chuck E.
yeah,
Cheese?
never been to Dave and Buster's.
Well, he's a
I've never been to the
Columbus
amazing
guy, right?
Yeah, none of these things were there. Never been to the amazing pizza machine. Isn't that like the similar kind of
So
thing?
the Amazing Pizza Machine was a little late for me. That
Mhm.
came up when I was too old.
But I
People
think,
started
like, all of
having
these are the
birthday
same
parties there.
Indoor type of thing.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Never been to any of them.
But it would make sense that you didn't go to Amazing Pizza Machine because you were aged out of it by the
Sure.
time it came up.
I heard a ton of commercials about the
Amazing Pizza Machine.
It was Austin's favorite Omaha restaurant from his childhood.
Right. Austin is perfectly the amount
Okay.
younger than me for it to make
You
sense.
guys have,
I
you
saw
guys
it on a
have-
vertical video.
You guys have Pump It Ups here in Omaha?
No.
Pump it up.
It's like, it's inflatable bouncy houses, but it was like on a whole other level, and it was all in one big building.
No.
And that might have been just a local thing.
I haven't been
didn't
to a
know if it was
Lucky
franchise.
Strike. I haven't been to
A Lucky Strike?
What's it called?
Isn't that a
Whirly
cigarette?
Pop or
Yeah.
something like that's a thing, or
Oh,
Whirly
no.
Ball?
Whirly Ball. Yeah, my
Yeah, I haven't been to
brother,
one of those.
my brother's wedding was at a Whirly Ball place.
Yeah. So all of these things I've never done.
What about like a are you talking about like trampoline parks?
Yeah, basically.
Never
Pump-
been doing
pump-
a trampoline.
Pump
park.
It Up
One
was
thing I've always wanted to do in my life, and I've
Oh.
never had the opportunity to do, is jump
Compete
into
on American Gladiators.
kind of. It's more simple than that though. It's just jump into a foam pit.
overrated.
All I want to do is jump into a foam
Oh,
pit.
never jumped into a foam.
You,
No.
haven't done this with your daughter?
I've never jumped into a foam pit.
Oh.
Yeah,
You-
there's
you
like
can't
slides
get
that
out.
you can just
Yeah.
go on that you and your daughter
Disappointing.
will go down into a foam pit.
You-
No, I want to like jump into.
Okay.
It's way
I-
more dangerous than anything.
You will.
Dangerous.
It's
you will
hard getting
get
out of it.
you will get angry about how
There's nothing to grab
stuck
on.
you get.
Oh, I don't care about that.
The
Really?
viscosity is zero. You can't like swim out of it.
Yeah.
I was predicting
What are you gonna
in my
get a
head.
crane to get you out of there? Or
I mean,
something?
some people literally do need
You
that.
really got to
It's like
work.
the human claw. Someone
Like-
works it. It's a
like-
human claw machine.
I want to jump into a foam
There,
pit.
there is a video of somebody who is way too big to be jumping into a foam pit, where it took the entire
Yeah, that person would have struggled to get up anyway.
it took the entire
Connor
staff.
doesn't have that problem.
No, he doesn't. But at the same, it's not as fun as you think it is. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not. I hate to ruin things, but to be fair, you ruin things for me sometimes. So this is just me.
I don't
giving
think
you back
any
the
less of
favor.
jumping into foam pits right now.
Okay.
So I was
Okay.
trying to predict how you were going to finish what it was that you wanted to do based off of what we were discussing. And my head went to a thing that maybe only Josh and I would remember because I don't think they do it anymore. But there was on some TV show, people would be wearing what's like a human, like a tracksuit that's entirely Velcro.
Mhm.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you jump off of a trampoline and try to land yourself as
Yeah.
high as you can on a wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are
That-
awesome.
I thought that's what you were getting. to.
Classic Letterman bit.
Like
Yeah.
that seems like it would be really awesome.
Yeah. it
Have you
would.
ever wanted to do like an American Ninja Warrior?
No, I've never looked at those and been like, oh, I could do that.
Yeah.
You know?
But American Gladiators against the final thing or whatever.
no.
I
don't wanna
imagine
do
I
that.
imagine American Ninja Warrior is just like some of the most anti-happer stuff. I can imagine you watching that and being like, well, look at these losers on these
Well, you
on
guys
the-
trying so hard.
on these monkey bars. What do you
I
what do you
thought
do? You
would like
lift?
obstacle courses.
Like I have some, I have decent. No, the question was, I don't know that I could like do it.
Oh,
but
okay.
am I interested in how I would do? Yes.
Okay.
I am interested in how I would do, but I don't think it would go very
Mine
If
was
there
just
was a
more
throw-
the general interest, if given the opportunity, would you want to do the American Gladiators obstacle course for their big finish?
Oh,
Or
when
would
you
you
said
rather do Wipeout?
when you said American Gladiators, I thought like the dudes hitting each other with the sticks.
Oh, the jousting?
Mhm.
Yeah.
You don't want to joust?
No, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's a fighting thing.
I'd
I'm
rather
not
jump
surprised.
from thing to thing with the mild threat of getting dunked into water.
That's basically
That's it.
that is basically how those
You're
things
gonna love
go.
when your kid goes to trampoline park for the first time.
You think so?
Yeah.
I just imagine so many
Yeah.
people there. How many
Don't break
people
your,
are
don't
there?
break your ankle.
Depends
it's
on
not
when
going to
you
be
go,
quiet
yeah.
Vegas. I'll tell you that.
I do not see. I don't like that.
And then they try selling you the socks.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, you got to get these bouncy socks. Here's,
What?
pay us $12.
They got to have grippers on the bottom.
Yeah. You got to buy the grip socks.
Wow,
Yeah. It's a scam.
everything's a racket.
Everything is a racket.
No, but Matt, I was actually curious. What did you actually do for the Kentucky Derby? Where did you go?
I woke up and like did my normal day, and around like 3:00, I dressed up. I didn't put on. Mike shamed me. I didn't put on a suit and tie or anything like that.
How
I
did
put
I
on.
shame you?
You want me to read the text messages?
Yes, I don't recall shaming you.
He's confident. He's standing on business.
You sent me your outfit. You looked great, by the way.
Yeah, I sent
You
you a
were
photo.
like, happy Derby Day. I go, casual Derby Day. And it was me in a white shirt and a,
and I said lame.
and he goes, lame. Commit to the bit. First off, nothing. There's no bit. It's
The
not
bit
a bit.
was you showing up in a suit on a Friday. For
I mean,
an
I'm
event
in a
that was
suit
on
coat.
Saturday.
That's a bit, Matt. That's a bit. You showed up to work in a suit and sunglasses. It's a bit.
with a pocket square. And then on the actual day of the Derby, you're like, I'm wearing a linen shirt outside.
Yeah, and you're telling me
I'm
that
outside. I can't wear this.
you're telling me that you weren't shaming me, and now what are you doing?
There was
You're
a little
doing-
shame, Schaefer.
There was a lot of shame in
I
there.
don't
Thank
think
you,
it's shame.
Happer. Oh my God, Happer's on my side. That was so egregious.
It was not egregious.
And you go,
I don't know. It was egregious.
Your complaint that
And then
you were
wait.
outside.
wait. I go, I'm outside. It's hot. And Schaefer sent me a picture of a golf course and goes, where do you think I am? And I go, I have
Trying
no.
to say I am
well,
also
one sec-
outside.
1 second. You go, where do you think I am? I go, I have no idea. Pioneers? Question mark. I thought he was trying to brag that he was at like some course.
He's
or
just
whatever.
trying to say he was outside.
And he goes, Firethorn. I just meant I'm also outside.
There was no yelling in that.
I imagined it.
Well,
When I
if
read
you
some
want
of
me
your
to like just send you voice messages.
No,
so
I-
you can
I-
actually hear me yell at you.
I don't need you to become my sleep paralysis demon. I don't need that to happen.
So what what were you doing? Why were you outside?
I was at a casino in the tent. It was outside tent casino.
You went to Horseman's?
Yes.
Okay. Nice.
And
How was
it was a great time.
How was the picture?
It was great. It was good. I was they had a bunch of TVs. It was really well
No,
set
I mean, like,
up.
what the party looked like?
It was a lot of people. There was a lot of people in there.
Really?
Colorfully dressed.
Yeah, great time. Multiple
Do you want to
Mothers-
present your theory to Matt? He's a young, even though he's now in the 24 to whatever.
Oh, yeah. I had this theory that the Kentucky Derby, because of the youths, is getting more popular.
Second
Probably.
straight year of record high ratings.
Not a TV ratings guy, but I think the youths, we were trying to figure out why. We have a couple of theories, a couple ideas why.
well, the Game 7 lead-in probably helped.
Really?
The Game
that
7
was never one of our theories.
Oh.
Never even
but-
considered
but
that.
Game 7 being right after.
But they did like
probably.
4 hours of pregame.
That was the highest. So the 4 hours of pregame was the highest it's ever been as well. So that's a proffering a good theory. But yeah, continue.
Oh,
you-
so you're saying the it was the lead in to
Yeah,
Game 7.
to
Oh,
Game
no,
7.
I don't think that matters.
Yeah, I didn't even consider that. Nobody said that,
Yeah.
including a guy whose team played.
I
in
flipped
that
it over to a
scenario.
random baseball game after that, I think.
Okay, but you think I agree with you. I totally agree.
So a couple things. Youths and their sports gambling brain.
Yeah,
This is like sports gambling event A.
Yeah.
Potentially event B behind the Super Bowl, I
Event
guess.
B, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah. What were some of the other things we
the
thought
biggest
of?
thing is it's like I think people like that it's short. You're only really having to commit to a 3-minute functional thing.
yeah.
But the build up to it involves dressing up, which I think people like
Yeah.
to create something. And then he said this the other day, which made me think about it. It's a one-day event that you always know exists, like the Super Bowl. So you always have some sort of plan or thing that can build around it.
$1,000,000%.
It's probably more social event than it is.
Okay,
Yes, much more.
That's
Just
what
like the
that's
Super
what
Bowl.
was bouncing around in my brain is like, okay, you probably get some women under the tent that you wouldn't normally get because there's a social aspect,
Absolutely.
dressing up,
I think the
a
pageantry.
theme party, yeah, pageantry, yeah.
I think pageantry's there. Now I'm not.
Do the kids love the pageantry?
And it's
So I don't-
legitimately only 3 minutes.
Mhm.
I don't want because this is gonna be one of those things where it's like Gen Z claims everything.
I won't talk about anything.
Okay.
I won't say anything.
But
Whoa.
I do think that like when there's a lot of parties that I go to that are hosted by people where it does involve dressing up, and I do think that my generation.
I think
really-
your generation likes themes.
Yeah, my generation really likes
We
to
did
dress up.
discuss this.
Yes.
They really like the dress up party. They really,
Academically, we're coming in really strong based on you
Yeah.
entirely as our advocate.
yeah, like they really like the hey, we're gonna have a murder mystery party, or hey, we're gonna have a Great Gatsby theme party,
Yeah.
or whatever.
But
Or
you're a
we're gonna-
horrible example of this because I asked you on Friday why you like the Kentucky Derby, and you gave me the truth, which was you basically just grew up on it. So you
Yeah.
actually like horse
I
racing.
love it. I love it. Yeah.
Nobody likes horse racing.
And so this is,
Yeah.
and I'm glad you two said this. This is no. This is the best point. You could go, the Derby is up, the Derby's doing good, the Derby's, couldn't be more popular. It has nothing to do with the actual sport.
Not
like,
at all.
Like horse racing Horse
we made
racing
that distinction very strongly.
is still dying. Horse racing probably won't be around for
We
another
discussed no one will
25,
watch-
30 years.
No one's watching the Preakness or the Belmont.
No one,
So-
not really. And honestly, like even the horse racing guys are like, I don't think this horse is probably going to win the Preakness.
Right,
Like,
if
this
they
isn't,
would've-
this isn't really
Now,
like
what they could do,
he's not winning the Triple Crown.
what they could do is they could fabricate a story where all of a sudden this horse that won.
Is in love with another horse and like
No,
okay.
they're like,
That's
some-
really
some-
popular nowadays.
who's the most popular horse analyst in the game right now?
White Randy Moss.
Randy Moss.
Okay, so Randy Moss goes on TV today.
Or
He goes on all
Kornacki.
the big shows today, and he's like, "This Golden Tempo man, I've never seen anything like her. I mean, she just run and she's gonna probably win the triple. Like if
Yeah.
he said that today, people be watching.
Can I
that.
be real with you? These horse racing people are so analytical and obsessed with the sport that they would never do that.
Okay,
Like,
but they would bring
never-
a bunch of numbers or
They
whatever.
would never, but like they can't
Did
do
you
the
see her? She came
pageantry.
all the way from the back.
They can't, but they
the
can't
drone
fake it.
shot. Did you see the drone shot? It was so
There,
good.
there are more horse people who are like the one got screwed than being like, oh my god, the 19 was awesome.
Interesting.
And the one did get screwed. That's why you don't bet the pole position. That's why you don't bet the one.
So the horse analysts are getting in their own way. They're.
I don't
preventing-
think. Can I be real with you? I think the horse analysts
They're
know.
muting their own hype.
I think the horse analysts know that they're screwed either way, and there's
An
nothing that they
honorable game. An
You know,
honorable.
I have
And-
a hypothetical. If for next year to break the record, if Taylor Swift were to buy a horse that ran in the Kentucky Derby,
can do. It would
Oh,
would it
smash.
just
Yeah.
set
It would smash.
50 million.
Absolutely.
I actually wonder if it would be like 35 million.
It would. No.
and she
I-
commits to doing like a concert before the that NBC. is
She
gonna-
sings my old Kentucky home.
Can you?
Yeah.
Can you?
Riders up.
Can you imagine if a horse called Taylor's version was running in the Derby?
Mhm.
Yeah, maybe 50 million.
Like
Yeah.
that
and then
horse.
Apple buys its own horse to compete against the.
Scooter
Like
Braun
a-
buys
like-
his own horse.
Like a moderately good 3 p.m.
Actually-
football game. Like it would do that kind of number.
You could instead of the golf thing that had taken over for a while when they were having the celebrities or the various athletes play each other in golf. If you got athletic, like the people with a bunch of money in athletics, then start buying these horses and have their own individual races.
Interesting.
I
So-
can talk myself into
you,
paying.
you
attention
think
to
horse
it.
racing needs a Jake Paul renaissance? Is what
I
you're
think
saying?
horse racing needs a live tour. Is what I'm
you
getting. at.
need a YouTube horse
Yes.
racing.
This horse is just in it for the oil money.
Yeah, that's wild.
I would contend that NBC wouldn't even need Taylor Swift to own a horse. She would just need to be there in a big hat, and
Yeah, probably.
people would find it.
I think that
Oh,
would be
wow.
worth a
That's
couple
true.
million. But then I think that if she owned a horse, first off, that horse, its odds would be so high for no reason because everybody would bet on
Be
it.
the most public horse.
It would
of
be
all
the
time.
most public horse ever, and you could not get an accurate reading on
It's
really
true.
whether or not it was going to win.
What's the thing
Kinda
that we
want
could?
this to happen.
Yeah, I know. What's the
think it'd be
thing that
great.
we could fabricate to make it the biggest sporting event of all
I
time?
think you
Because
just
it's got the guts of it. It's got the bones,
LeBron
right?
announces his future.
You know what? You want another one?
At 5:50.
We laugh.
The decision is based off of whether his horse wins or not.
There's 4 hours of nothing that they could just fill with Jim Gray
Hey, they got
interviewing
Fanta-
LeBron.
Fanta rocks.
So one would be Swift having a horse, but if Jokic had a horse in the Derby,
Yeah.
One
That'd
of
help a little bit.
Jokic's horses
one of
is,
Jokic's horses was in the Derby.
That'd help a little bit.
That would be massive. I think you honestly it just boils down. Now some like celebrities like Bobby Flay had a horse in the Kentucky Oaks, right? And some of these celebrities like are part owners of horses and whatnot and put like a lot of stakes into them. But you need like a front facing, I own 100% of this horse celebrity to do that. And the thing is that it's harder than you think. Like it's a lot more money than people realize, and it
the
takes
Big
a
Ten
lot.
starts taking their billions
a
and putting
long-
them into horse racing.
It's a you get an SEC versus Big Ten horses.
Oh.
That'd
Okay.
do numbies.
What if there was a horse who was trained to run backwards?
But he was real good at it, just as good as the other horses running
Exactly.
forward.
I do
exactly. And there's
think-
all these stories about how the horse has run the length of the
How
Derby.
is the jockey sitting?
How do you
He's sitting forward, so he's facing
How
backwards.
do
So
you-
he's going backwards too.
Yeah.
how do you think
So is
like
he
this?
whipping the neck?
How does your brain
Ah,
work?
Yeah, maybe he could sit
Look,
forward.
T-Bob is in Jedi garments.
Yeah, I know.
That's-
We've been noticing that all morning. I'm just like I'm
It's a
trying to
horrible day.
I'm just trying to bump up the
Whoa, why can I see that much of his chest?
I know it's a lot of
Sorry, guys.
I would
Go ahead.
I would say that one legitimate thing that could happen
that would
and
create some common
if there was a filly, so a female horse that like was a legitimate.
What's the matter, Harry? Some little filly break your heart?
Freda Felcher from
If there was a
Cranston.
filly that was like a legitimate favorite, like a legitimate favorite, like that could do something. That could.
I
gain a
don't
lot of
think it
interest.
I don't think
would.
the public cares about that at all.
I think you already did it. I
Horse
think,
runs backwards.
I know. Not horse runs backwards.
Oh, okay.
Taylor Swift be owning a horse and calling it one of her like 18 songs about it being her fault. That would probably do it.
Good one.
You know, if she called a horse
She calls
tight
the horse
end,
Jake Gyllenhaal and roots for it to lose.
yes, that'd be great.
Or John Mayer or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you just turn the Kentucky Derby into just a real sloppy jealousy.
What if Taylor Swift owns all the horses and she names them all after her ex-boyfriend?
I would hate
Whoa.
that. I would hate that so much.
I'd have
be
to
like,
root for one of her ex-boyfriends.
That's right.
I would be
Mm.
like, what happened to the sport I love?
Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
you would
yeah,
not be happy.
I would
about
not
Yeah.
be.
that.
happy.
We would lose the horse people, but we
Uh-huh.
would gain so
which
many
means,
more.
by the way, you'd lose the horse people, so you'd lose 2 million people on your rating.
That's it.
Is
Yeah,
what you would.
exactly.
We only
but
lose
you
2
gain
million.
the Swifties. Which,
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah,
It'd
we'd
be
gain
the-
about 150.
And actually, in the grand scheme of things, would be awesome for horse racing.
Be a great trade out.
Honestly, horse racing might need some new people.
Hmm.
I'm being real. I mean,
Horse runs backwards
I'm,
is out there.
I'm one of them. All right. I mean, I'm a slimy guy. I mean, I'm not. It's not
what
like
you're
you.
describing feels so close to an Adam Sandler movie pitch that it's concerning. To me.
Yeah.
I think it really
A bunch of the
would.
old men betters, like who are just watching Keeneland and Aqueduct like 5 days a week, or like just get really pissed this horse is running backwards.
Rob
like Blake-
Schneider is the jockey.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
This would be
I was thinking
like
David Spade, but
It's-
that worked.
this
it's
would be
one of
like
those
Blades
two.
of Glory, but for horse racing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That would be
That has to exist.
Blades of
already.
Glory for horse racing.
Yeah, I mean,
The Iron Lotus.
What is the?
You're trying to do the Iron
I
Lotus.
think the Iron Lotus might exist in horse racing. Already.
That's the trick. You could get the horse.
To flip. Well, it already happened with Great
You
White.
could do Murder
Yeah.
Horse.
Oh.
That already
The
exists.
horse is there for no good other than to run into the other horses.
Well, that's
Chaos
I would
horse.
argue. I would argue half of the horses of the Kentucky Derby are already
what if
that.
you had an AI trained horse?
Okay.
You know, then you're just
That
it's
would
out
be
there.
terrible. No, that freaked me out. That would really freak me out.
I
That'd
mean,
really
horse
bother
running
me.
backwards would be pretty crazy.
Mechanically, I have no idea how it works, and I just keep trying to make it happen in my brain.
It can't. It
It's
literally
difficult to imagine.
It really is. And you're like, and the jockey's going to be facing the other way.
Someone want to turn the Kentucky Derby into Toe Mater
Yeah, well, I see. I know what that's a reference to, but I don't get it.
to cars.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know it's a reference to cars, but I don't get it.
friend of the show.
Owen Wilson?
Larry.
Yeah.
Oh, thought Owen Wilson was the friend of the Connor Happer show.
No.
That'd be cool.
No. Larry called in
Wow.
once and he said, I'll call David Wells for you. Hang on. And
That's
then
so
David Wells
sick.
called.
He did. That happened.
Larry the Cable Guy is
Now
a
that's a wacky guess Wednesday.
Larry the Cable Guy is a core foundation of my childhood because of Toe Mater.
There you go.
He is the guy.
I could maybe get him to call you and leave you like a birthday message.
If I would
Pay
love
$50 for it on
I would
Cameo.
love for Larry the Cable Guy to have my voice memo or my voicemail. You know, hey, get her done.
I bet. I mean, you
That'd be
probably
good.
bump into him somewhere.
I haven't seen him.
Oh, you'll
What,
see
by
it.
the way, the Berkey weekend happened, and I was looking for Paul McCartney on a bench, and it didn't.
That's
I was
not-
disappointed.
That's
Uncle Warren retired.
Yeah.
It was a lot less attended this year.
So I watched a news profile on the entire event, and it basically was that. It was like nobody showed up. This used to be the hottest ticket in town.
probably worried about our exposed wires airport. And the fact that Warren's retired.
And our cratered downtown.
Now Warren made an
God,
appearance.
The
Yes,
sinkhole
I
just
believe
scared
so,
everybody
yes, yeah.
off.
I don't think they got him over to E Creamery.
Which sinkhole are you referring to? There's
Yeah.
multiple.
You have to be more
Wow,
specific.
Yeah,
whichever
please.
one.
Hey, it was hopping down at the Cottonwood on Friday night. I saw or Friday night. Yeah, Friday night.
Yeah, you went.
I saw
Friday night.
Governor Palan.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you sent
Whoa.
me a text.
What did the text say?
Yeah.
Is
Schaefer?
it
Yeah, we're
Poland?
just
No, and then what did
Palan.
it say after that?
By the way, did he actually? Never mind. We don't have to talk about the Crab Creek Chronicles. Oh, it's not important for air.
My text to Schaefer was a reference to the Crab Creek Chronicles.
Jim Polan is here. Hashtag Dana Altman.
Nice. It's a good, you're on fire today.
I was killing it.
Polan,
I was killing it.
You wanna
Our
go
only
to-
other exchange for the whole weekend? If the Celtics lose, will Joey show up on Monday?
when people ask me, like, is Connor Rapper good at radio? I'll be like, he once wanted a horse to run backwards at the Kentucky Derby.
That's special.
That's
Special kind of
incredible.
Tell you
talent.
what, though, you leave that segment thinking, "What does that look like?" And then you just think about it constantly, and it's driving me nuts. Right
I still think, I mean, like
because all the other horses are running forward.
like clockwork, though. Me sending in the winning ticket and Connor going, "Holy $10 is
No.
was
Once
the
again,
mo-
repeat that
the
text.
odds of that happening was minus 250.
There you go.
That was going to
The
be
odds of you putting odds on that was like minus 500. Hold on. Let me go back. What message is this in? This is in an absurd.
in the
By the way, I
crossover.
defied the haters. Okay, we had somebody who worked here. Who,
No, I said, wow, huge win.
yeah, like clockwork. Like, of course, I spoke on how much it means to me to bet the winner of the Derby, and then my proudest moment, one of my prouder moments, where I'm partying it up at the casino. You go, wow, what a win!
That was a big win.
I made carne asada tacos last night. It was
Whoa.
great.
Awesome.
I think I started it off by just texting blindly Happer would have beat Matt because I just
Yeah.
assumed that
Oh,
this
that's
wouldn't have
right.
been one of your horses.
That's right.
If you listen to the show, we were all over it.
Matt
We
was
were
so
all
excited
over.
he accidentally called me as the race ended.
Not accidentally. There
Oh,
was no accident
oh,
about
okay.
it. I was calling you in my
I-
victorious moment.
I picked up right as you hung up, so I didn't actually ignore your call.
Sindelar texted me right before the race, what horse looks the prettiest? And I told him the 19. And I think he
Oh, wow.
he bet it. And then I called him right after, and we were both yelling at each other on the phone. 'cause
That's
we were
pretty
so happy.
awesome.
I was in the tent. I was in this big tent, and nobody else had bet that horse to win except for me. And I was screaming and yelling.
He
And,
was the only guy
and
crying in the club.
people were looking at me like, this guy is a psycho. Like, this is ridiculous. you
That's
know?
awesome.
And they were all pissed because they all bet the favorites and the favorites lost.
Did you do middle double birds to everybody? in the tent?
I at one point I go, I don't care. Let's go.
I don't care.
It works better if it's like you and another guy.
No, it was just me.
It's
It was
just you.
me. It was I was on my own, and I was in the tent.
Wow.
You had
And
nobody to
everybody
go
was.
with?
I just went on my own.
All right.
It was unfortunate. Yes, I had no one to go with. It was, but I don't care. I had a great time.
You clearly didn't care.
I-
You said that.
Dude, they had $6 neutrals, and I was just going and I was just hammering them. Hell of a drink.
Love Horseman's Park, Omaha's best bet.
That
you-
was well. Go ahead.
Are you regretting wearing pants today because you have your sweatpants?
Very
that are
much so.
pulled all the way.
Very
up?
much so.
All right.
But the skin disease is going away, so
Oh, that's
we
good.
can be
That's good.
back. We can
Oh.
back to short sleeves.
Risen
hopefully.
Kismet Risen.
What is? I'm sorry,
Rhythm Kismetrism.
I don't even know what that.
It's a scientific term for
Sky Rizzy.
Sky Rizzy.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
We're getting it done. That's the crossover. Nothing is empty. Crossover is powered by Everlevel Concrete in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. Middays Matt coming up next.
I need your help. I can't tell you what it is. You can never ask me about it later, and we're gonna hurt some people.
Whose car are we gonna take?
I have a lot of things I want to get off my chest.
That's an absolutely horse crap call.
Make room for Daddy. But they are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Chicago is.
This is Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Middays Matt live and rolling here on the 1620 The Zone Radio Network. Matt McMaster, as always, joined by Josh Hudson. Josh, how are you, man?
I'm all right. How we doing, buddy?
We're doing great. Phenomenal weekend. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Great weekend of weather. A great day of weather so far. I did hear on a broadcast earlier in the week that we're expecting showers throughout the week, right? A little bit of rain here and there as we go along. But
today's the best day of the week by far.
Awesome. The weather's great. You know what? That's the thing. It's like Mondays, let's be real. Mondays suck, especially after a weekend that we just had. Or at least for me specifically. I had an incredible weekend. I had a fun time. We'll talk about that throughout the show. But it's always great when like you wake up on a Monday and you're like, oh, gotta get back to the grind. You know, like that was a nice little, disconnection from reality there. And then you walk outside and you go, wow, the weather's great.
This is pleasant. Puts me in a good mood.
I'll have like a porch beer today. I'll have like a nice little sippy sip. I actually probably will, considering the fact that Monday Night Raw is in town here in Omaha for all of you pro wrestling fans out there. I told you this in the morning off air. And this is the only, don't worry for all the people freaking out. This is the only time we'll talk about wrestling on the show today. I've just been so disconnected from the product, just because I've just been incredibly disappointed into what that company has turned into, especially considering the fact I should not know what TKO is. Like, I shouldn't know who TKO is, and I shouldn't know really their handlings within the business of WWE, but I still love the WWE, and I'll always go to their events because of, all of the joy and happiness it's given me throughout my life. I woke up this morning and I had no idea that it was Monday Night Raw, and I had totally forgotten that I had bought tickets to this event literally 2 months ago until I looked at my phone and Ticketmaster was like, hey, Matt, you have an event tonight. And I was like, oh.
A helpful reminder.
I was like, yeah, I do. I actually bought these tickets. It was like a flash sale where they had these massive discounts for literally one night to a bunch of different events. And my buddy, shout out Tim, texted me. He goes, hey, Raw's in Omaha and there's a big discount on it. Go ahead and buy the tickets. We actually got, these are probably some of the nicer tickets I've had to a wrestling event in quite some time. So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to go to that tonight. So if you're going to WWE tonight, you are Josh Hudson.
I am.
You're going to have a great time. We're all going to have a great time. If you see me, say hi. If you see Josh, I don't know, say hi. Maybe don't say hi. Who cares?
Yeah, say hi, please.
It'll be a great time. So apparently it's going to be a really good card.
I don't know about that.
There's a contract signing tonight.
Got a contract signing
between Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns.
That's right.
I'm sick and tired of contract signings.
Well, there's two of them tonight. So
Paul, hey Trips, if you're listening, no more contract signings, my man. Please. I've done it. Trips. My whole life has been one big contract signing. Okay. Every other, just seems like anytime we get to like a mid-ass pay-per-view that we need some sort of hype to lead into, we go, hey, they're going to sign a contract. I wonder what's going to happen. Oh, there's two tables in the ring. I wonder how those are going to break.
I'm a sucker for it. I love it every time.
Best contract signing of all time probably was Cena Punk in front of Laurinaitis and Trips.
Okay.
That was an all-timer, Did you personally fire Vladimir Kozlov on Friday? Or did you say, hey, kid, it's a budget thing. Best of luck with your future endeavors. Don't call me gutless. You have him do your dirty work. God, what a great promo.
Trying to find memorable contracts.
Is there was the Batista when Trips when he gave the thumbs down to when Batista gave the thumbs down to Trips, was that a contract signing?
I don't remember.
I think that might have been a contract signing when that occurred. Now, there was, you remember this one, this is probably on the other side of it, when Finn Balor was supposed to sign the contract to wrestle Roman Reigns, and then Balor got squashed, and then Cena ran into the ring and he signed the contract to wrestle Roman. So they were actually going through with no, Finn Balor is the rightful number one contender, and then they were just get the hell out of the way. We got to do Cena Reigns at SummerSlam. Probably outside of the match between him and Styles at Perth, that was probably one of Cena's last great matches. Was him versus Reigns at that SummerSlam. Little fun fact. Have you found any of your favorite contracts?
Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant before WrestleMania 3 when
too young for me.
Andre the Giant snatched the crucifix off of Hogan's neck, and
yes,
he got all bloodied.
That is a good one.
Let's see. I don't remember any of these other ones.
You're all forgettable. That's the point. They're all forgettable. If I told you right now, list your 5 favorite Money in the Bank winners, your 5 favorite tag team champions, your 5, you would be like, of course.
Now hold on. Number 1 on this list, Matt, was the Triple H Batista thumbs down.
There it is. That was a
contract signing. Number 2 was John Cena and CM Punk that you referenced earlier. Look at this. Guy knows ball across the table from me here.
I'm a savant, which is why Trips, if you're still listening, let's pick it up a little bit. Let's pick it up. And let's put the scrap on Punk. All right? Let's put the scrap on Punk.
Had it.
No. Let's put the other scrap on.
Okay.
The other one, the WWE championship.
Okay.
We put the working man's championship on the guy who doesn't work. So let's put the actual big strap on the guy who works a ton and has been awesome at it. That's just my couple of cents. So there you go. That's our wrestling segment for the day. Monday Night Raw in town. Hopefully everybody has a great time at that event. An event that I had a phenomenal time at on Saturday. My horse won the Kentucky Derby. Am I going to be obnoxious about it? Yes. Am I going to brag about it? You bet your ass. Have we made a graphic celebrating said win?
You bet your ass.
We bet your ass. Come on. I mean, let's go here. I'm sorry to stand here and tell you that it's hard and it's difficult and you got to read the forms. It's not. It's easy. It's easy, guys. It's easy. Okay. Just read the reports. Read the report. Look down. What does he do? He gets on base a lot. Okay. He gets on base. Why do we like this guy? He's got itchy feet. He's only finished 3rd in his 2 previous races, Matt. What do you see? It's a woman trainer. A woman trainer has never won the Kentucky Derby. What do you see in this horse? He gets on base. The horse just gets on base. It's a deep look. If they start fast, they finish fast, right? And they went at a 46-second 4 furlong pace.
This horse did not start fast.
They went out. Well, I'm saying the pace horses went out.
Okay. Sorry.
And when the pace kind of falls apart at the very end of the race, 2 things happen. You either get super long shots, which is why Ocelli, who was like 55-1, was right there at the very end, or the deep closers come. And we had both. The 55-1 was there, and the deep closer Golden Tempo came in, won. It was a great time. The Kentucky Derby, though, real quick, we'll touch on this. Highest ratings it's ever had, an 11% increase from last year to this year. I think Happer and Schaefer hit it right on the head. I do think that my generation and these younger people love events. I think we're just an event generation. We just love to have an excuse. Gen Z does not dress up a lot. Like we have casual Friday is just literally Monday through Thursday. Yeah. And we have lost a lot of rules in our society that really warrants, hey, you have to look nice and you have to be presentable. Heck, I violate those rules myself. Quite often.
When was the last time you were on a plane, everyone wearing pajamas like it's their damn dorm room?
They used to wear suits very early on when we traveled on planes because it was such a big deal.
People yelled at my generation for wearing not suits on a plane.
We have completely stampeded the entire the proper attire conversation. We have just
now my generation yells at your generation for wearing comfy cozies on an airplane.
We've trampled all over it. And it's fine. It's okay. And we've gotten to the point where even basketball coaches are wearing quarter zips, that's just where we are in society. And so I think my generation loves the pageantry. We love the theme. We love the excuse to put on a suit. We love the excuse to put on a hat, to be all fancy, to make drinks that we would never make before? When are you ever going to drink a mint julep outside of the first Saturday of May?
I love mint juleps. I only drink them one day a year.
I know. We had a great time.
Mhm.
I will never go out and buy that thing again, but it was a phenomenal time. I think it's a great event. Now, I will say this. Yeah, the gambling aspect for sure. We talked about this when we were discussing Brendan Sorsby, is the fact that, gambling for people my age has been completely normalized. There's nothing taboo about it, right? There is going to be a whole generation of kids where you're going to have to explain what a bookie is, like what do you mean you had to go through a guy that you knew who made his own odds, and he kept it all on a book, and it was his money, and he had, like, what do you mean you couldn't do it on your phone back in the day? Wait, you didn't used to have phones? Right? That's kind of where we're going to. So I think the pageantry, the thematic part of it gets people to dress up. You get to have, how many people do you know had a Derby watch party, or had a little Derby event at their house, or, went out to, maybe rented out a place or something like that. So I think the Derby definitely, because of just the je ne sais quoi of it, if you will, is definitely gaining some popularity with the youngs. The gambling part of it definitely gaining popularity with the youngs. You got to, some of these newbies, though, you can't just look at the name and bet at a horse. They're not going to win that way. You got to, hopefully we can get some of these kids to learn how to read a racing form. But like I said, I don't think this has anything to do with the popularity of horse racing. I don't think this is going to save horse racing, or horse racing has become super popular. I don't think this Kentucky Derby by any means of the imagination is going to make somebody be like, oh my God, I want to go to the casino and bet on horses again. I want to see who's running at Keeneland. I don't think anybody's doing that. I don't think anybody's picking up a aqueduct race form today that they probably wouldn't have done it earlier in the week. But it was a fun event. It was a good time, and a history. I mean, it's hard to make history at a 152-year-old event. That's a very difficult thing to do, and it happened. So congratulations to Golden Temple and Sherry Duvall for being the first women trainer to win the Kentucky Derby. Other things locally happened over the weekend. RPI Maintenance, for those who don't know, basically RPI is the ranking system, right, for baseball. You want to be in the top 16 in RPI in order to host a regional, like we've been discussing over and over again with Nebraska baseball. RPI Maintenance might be one of my favorite, unironically funny phrases that we've created in sport writing. Shout out Evan Bland. As far as RPI Maintenance goes, does getting swept on the road to Ohio State, not a particularly very great team, is that the equivalent of like a pipe bursting? What is the RPI Maintenance equivalent to that?
You got a real problem.
You got is that the equivalent to like going up to a wall and being like, there's a bend, there's a whole bend in this wall, and this place is going to collapse? And then it does. That's what happened. Tough 3-game series. I think each game was very individual. It was very different from one another. I think Friday was offense going to get going. Yassa, though, had a really good start, and then Ty Horn came in, shut the door. Saturday was just baseball, right? Games happen. Somewhat competitive, 7-3 loss, just whatever. And then, Sunday, you just got your butts whooped. So we'll talk about that. Does Nebraska still have an opportunity to host a regional in Lincoln? And that's one side of the coin, RPI Maintenance. Then there's RPI Dominance, and that's what Nebraska softball is. 32-1 in their last 33 games. The winners of the Big Ten regular season: Jordy Fromm, Rhonda Revelle, Hannah Coors, Alexis Jensen, the whole gang. Congratulations to them. A dominant season by the Nebraska softball group. They will be on the road in Maryland on Thursday to go ahead and compete in the Big Ten tournament championships. They will play the winner of the 8-9 game in their first game on Thursday. So we'll see if Nebraska, after winning the Big Ten regular season in softball, will go ahead and be able to win the Big Ten tournament. Once again, Big Ten tournament, fun. You'd love to win it. You'd love to hold another trophy. I'm sure all the people over there would love to have another hat and have a champagne celebration or whatever it might be. Definitely not the tournament you're looking to win. Definitely not the tournament that you're super focused on winning. That would be the NCAA tournament. That they definitely, without a doubt, one of the contenders to win that. Is the Jordy Fromm / Ball era a success if they don't win a national championship?
Oh, okay.
If they don't win a natty, is it still a successful era of Nebraska softball? Or will we look back on it and say, man, they had a shot and they couldn't get it done? Man, they had it and they couldn't finish it. Like that. Well, if they don't win a national championship, will it sting more than you hearkening back to the memories and being like, that was a fun time? We will talk about that. And we always have to talk football here on this show, Middays. So Matt probably talked about football every single day. Ahmad Hudson, our sweet, darling baby boy, the 5-star tight end out of Louisiana, who was at the Battle at the Boneyard catching passes from Trey Taylor, the 2027 quarterback commit for the Nebraska Cornhuskers, a little bit over a year ago. We saw those balls go into the end zone. We saw him toe tapping in the back left corner in front of Dayton and Dylan Raiola.
Toe drag swag.
Trey and Ahmad. It was like written out of a storybook, if you will.
TNA.
Them establishing, hey, we are the future. This is what could be happening in these beautiful walls of Memorial Stadium, years and years to come. Trey to Ahmad. He was so good in the Battle of the Boneyard. Like that kid is a special, special talent. But Lane Kiffin and the Chicken Finger Man. Get me pictures of the Chicken Finger Man.
Doesn't have the same ring to it, but
Brock, you're fired. But Lane Kiffin and the Louisiana State University Tigers went ahead and stole the commitment, if you will, or just secured the commitment, probably more accurately, for Ahmad Hudson. How many more consolation prizes do we hand out when it comes to recruiting? Like how much credit do we give this Nebraska football staff and this department for look, let's be real. A guy like this, a prospect like this, who very well could end up playing on Sundays for a very long time. That's the type of talent that he is. For them to be the team after the in-state team is fairly impressive, if you ask me. Let's be real. Typically Ahmad Hudson, his final decision is Louisiana State and Notre Dame and Texas and Ohio State and Georgia and Florida and Miami. That's typically that type of prospect, especially in that part of the country. That's who he's deciding on, not Nebraska, not a 19-19 and 10-17 in the Big Ten Conference Nebraska football team. That's not typically who he's deciding between. But it came down to it. We're going to talk to Tim Verghese tomorrow. We'll talk to Tim Verghese tomorrow. Timmy had a hot tweet.
Hot tweet?
Timmy V's a menace, man.
Whoa.
He's a little menace. He's the best. I love him. What Timmy says goes is the rule on this show. So we will talk about Ahmad, what might have happened. The guy was scheduled or supposed to make multiple visits to Nebraska. It never ended up happening. I think there's probably some stories embedded within there. I do think, though, and I'm not going to police people online. I'm not going to tell people how to tweet. I'm not going to tell people what they should or shouldn't say or what they should be careful about. But I definitely do think that we got to realize that, things happen in recruiting and that anything can always come back around to the point where maybe things don't work out at LSC, or maybe the deal that he apparently might have signed, or maybe he hasn't signed. We have no idea. He's committed. It doesn't mean that there's necessarily pen to paper. It could be an open commitment. Things could come back around. Nebraska could very well still be in the picture. So, commitments in 2026 You know what commitments are? Commitments are situationships, okay? They are not marriages. All right. When you
You'll
commit,
have to explain to the olds what
when,
you mean by
when
that.
you commit to it, a situationship is essentially we're talking a lot and I'm taking you on dates and I'm buying you a lot of things and, we're staying at each other's places, but we're not dating. We don't have a label on it. And a situation is brewing, right? But it's like we haven't put and we don't even know if we want to put a label on it. But we're just kind of going with the flow. It's very, it's in the menagerie. It's very out in the open. It's a fugazi, it's a whizzy, it's a woozy, it's fairy dust, if you will, to quote Matthew McConaughey in Wolf of Wall Street. A situation is there and paradoxically not there at the same time. Okay? That's what commitments are. It's just, it's just words. It's not actuality yet. So Nebraska might still be in this. We will see, and we'll talk to Tim tomorrow about it, but we'll also have a discussion about it throughout the show. Don't forget to contact us on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. Equitable Bank, they take banking personally. Matt at 1620 The Zone, Josh O at 1620 The Zone. 402-951-1620 is the number to reach us if you want to get in on the conversation. And if you want to text us, 402-951-1620, Prairie Flower Casino. Play longer, win more. And you can tweet at us at the Zone Twitter feed, which is powered by Liquid Trucking. Coming up next, let's talk about playoffs, baby. Let's talk about some of the fun playoff action that happened yesterday throughout the country here on the 1620 The Zone Radio Network.
Now, back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
We have some text here on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone text line, 402-951-1620. Prairie Flower Casino, play longer, win more. I don't know what Cody was referring to, but he goes, and people wonder why Matt is single. I don't think anybody's wondering.
Yeah, I don't
think there's a whole lot of wonder. I love my life the way that it is.
I don't think you're asking people to diagnose.
No.
Like, I think you understand.
I love my life. I love my
Yeah.
freedom. I will keep it.
Quite frankly, I'm jealous of your freedom.
I know, but I think people were a little upset that I woke up today. I had totally forgotten that I had bought tickets to an event, and we're like, "Oh, okay, I guess I'm doing that tonight."
Yeah, like
Imagine having nothing else scheduled.
I love my family, but if I could just be free for a week,
That'd be great.
I think it would heal me.
You know what? Should we do a husband swap?
Husband swap?
Where I swap with you?
No, because my wife would probably appreciate having someone helpful around the house. Because you'd come in and you'd be like, okay, I'm new here. I want to help.
I would be very scared. I would be very, very scared.
Yeah. My wife is scary in the best way possible.
Well, yeah, your wife's great. Two from the 202.
Hi, 202.
I know. I don't know what that area is.
Let's find it out. You read, I'll figure it out.
I don't remember the guy you talked to about the Derby, but didn't he make fun of your pick? I'd rub it in his face so aggressively, especially because he's the quote unquote expert. Now,
well, he was a Preakness guy.
He's a Preakness guy. Chase Sessoms is our guy.
DC area is 202.
Chase will come on for the Preakness, by the way. We've already
He's a
booked
Preakness guy.
He's a Preakness guy, so we'll bring him on. He loved the emerging market, the number 15, the Flavian Pratt horse. What did I tell you? We are a part of Middays with Matt is a firm fade Flavian Pratt fan club. Okay. We know better to bet on that jockey. And the horse, by the way, that horse, that was his third start. There hasn't been a horse that's won the Kentucky Derby since like 1886 or whatever the hell it was, who's making his third start. Hasn't had enough experiences, hadn't been in that situation. Fast horse. That horse might win the Preakness, though, by the way. That would be a horse that, if you're going to bet one to win the Preakness, he's got another start in his belt. He's experienced. He's been around a ton of people. I like emerging market potentially, especially if Flavian Pratt is not riding him. Pedro goes.
Hi, Pedro.
Hi. I'm still surprised when my wife and I are going to a movie. People will be dressed in pajamas and taking a blanket with them. I worry about those people. That's kind of sad.
Great take, Pedro. It's not your living room.
It seems that all of those people are young, and I don't know what generation they are. Pedro. I've never had an inkling in my life to go to a public area and bring a blanket.
Like Connor and I used to say on the Connor Happer show, we know what you're doing under that blanket.
That is true.
You're not fooling anyone.
That is true. But I do that stuff without the blanket. You know?
What?
You just make out with the girl at the movie.
Oh, no, I don't think that's what's happening under the blanket, Matt.
Oh, you think there's more egregious things happening under the blanket?
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Agreed.
It's ridiculous. Now, this might be an irrational take. Blanket at an ice rink. No.
Blanket at an ice rink?
Like if you're going to like watch a hockey game and you bring a blanket. Absolutely not. That's deal with the environment.
Yeah.
Deal with the forces. Part of the allure of going to a hockey game is like, oh my God, it's cold.
Yeah.
This is unlike it. It's unlike any place you'll be. It's kind of the charm a little bit.
Not your living room.
Some of my favorite hockey rinks that I ever played in were like the crappy, rusty wooden barns that were just way too cold. And like you would get on the ice, and if you got on the ice early enough in the morning, you couldn't see anything.
Ooh.
Like it would be like foggy, like on the ice. And you literally like your sweat and your heat would dissipate the fog on your side of the ice when you were warming up. Those were my, especially like 7:30 in the morning. You're like in Michigan in this crappy barn playing a team in a tournament that you literally play 13 times a year. That's 20 minutes down the road. Yet you traveled all the way to Grand Rapids, Michigan, 6 hours just to play a team you're going to play next weekend at your own home ice.
I've heard of this phenomenon.
It's not a phenomenon.
Mm-hmm.
It's a reality.
Yeah.
I think it's got to happen. I don't know if it happens in travel baseball or travel basketball as much as it does in travel hockey, but hockey parents know you will travel to bumble F parts of the country to play in these crappy barns just to play the junior Sabres like you're going to in 2 weeks from now in the comfort of your own home, your own hometown. It made no sense. Like we traveled to I traveled to so many different states in different tournaments to play a small amount of teams. It was ridiculous. But don't bring blankets to places. Don't do it. My mom was in that phase at one point. She's out of that phase. Speaking about hockey rinks, did you watch any of the hockey yesterday?
No, I heard I missed a good one. Canadiens Lightning, was that yesterday?
It was a fine one.
Okay.
It was a good one. I've been on both sides of that game. So do you know the details of what happened there? Did you hear about
somebody missed a shot.
Well, there was a lot of missed shots. That did happen.
Mm-hmm.
That did happen. Kenneth, close your ears. So in hockey, typically the straightforward line is the more shots on net and the more zone time you have, the more likely you are to win a game. That's kind
the
of
Canada theory, Team Canada.
Like that's kind of the thing. or just hockey theory in general. The more shots you have, the more
actually
time
won the
passing.
gold medal game because we were on offense the most, despite scoring fewer goals than Team USA.
Typically, more scoring chances leads to goals. That's not always the case. All right. That's why hockey is beautiful. The Canadiens had 9 shots on net in Game 7 and won 2-1. They did not put a shot on net the entire second period.
What?
They shot at the net 9 times and they won.
The whole game.
The whole game 9 times.
Whoa.
They got outshot 28-9.
How is that possible?
It's awesome.
Fire everyone.
Awesome. It's the best. Winning that game, okay? I've won that game before in my life. It's awesome. It's one of the best. You're playing your ass off on defense. Your goalie's having a great game. Dubois was awesome. He was incredible. You're just kind of manning your own, and you just know, hey, at some point we're going to get an odd man rush. At some point we're going to get a power play. At some point we're going to have some garbage ass goal go in the back of the net, and you're going to win this game. And you're like fighting for your life, and you're clearing out pucks, and you're in, like you get into a zone on defense. And it's so great going through that handshake line because that other team is pissed. They're furious. Mm-hmm. They're like, we're the better team. We were great.
Good game.
We were, whatever. We should have won. And it's just like, no, you shouldn't have. Because if you should have won, you would have won, dummy. You would have won. But we won because we're better. And you go into that locker room and you just feel like you got away with robbery a little bit, and you're pardoning up. And I've been on the other side of that. I've been the team where we shoot the puck 30 times. Funny enough, the one time I remember it happened in Michigan. We make all those jokes. It sucks. It's the worst way to lose. And at one point, you start getting like apathetic about it in the middle of the game. You're just like, this sucks. Like, I don't care anymore. Like, we just keep getting these opportunities. And we keep shooting these shots. And we keep having the puck in the zone, and they don't have anything. And why can't we score? What are we doing? You start blaming yourself. You start getting very mad, and it starts crumpling on top of you. And as soon as the other team scores that second goal, it's just like, even also too, when you score the goal finally after having all that zone time, you don't even feel good about it. You're like, finally, geez, should have happened hours ago. So awesome game. And then a game that a casual hockey fan probably had a great time watching. I probably had less fun because I was getting very mad at the defense. Minnesota and Colorado scored 15 goals last night total.
Whoa.
The Avalanche won 9-6. Some nasty goals happened. Tarasenko had a little
slop.
Dude, no, some great goals. Some sexy goals. Some screen goals. Some car goals. Some Tarasenko goals. We had a Foligno brother shorty. That was incredible. It was a good night in hockey. It was a good time in hockey. Good weekend in hockey. In basketball, the games weren't great. Now, the Friday game between Toronto and Cleveland, that was a fun one. Toronto kind of had that game in the bag for a good part of it. Cleveland just kept coming back and kept coming back and kept coming back. And eventually they tied the game. They go to overtime until RJ Barrett with that, big old bouncer. They got magnets over there in Toronto, right? They got magnets in those rims. I mean, that's the only way you can explain that. The
it makes sense.
Shot and that shot. Barrett ends up winning that one. And then, God, Cleveland won a playoff series with Kenny Atkinson and James Harden. Are we in the upside down? Are we okay?
I saw something yesterday that was
I think we might be in trouble as a society.
from the NBA. It was congratulations, James Harden, on the 8th most career playoff assists or something like that. And I was like, whoa.
Well, he's played a lot.
He has.
He's been in the playoffs a lot. Kenny
Apparently.
Atkinson had only ever won. Has been in the league for forever. Not as both as an assistant as a head coach. Had only won one series before that. Went to 7. It was a fine game. Wasn't anything to really write home about. Cleveland, got done when they needed to get done. Jared Allen has been one of the more won't be a Hall of Famer by any stretch of the imagination, but definitely one of the more underrated players of this era of basketball. Just tall, athletic guy who just does his job week in and week out, game in and game out. I compared saying, hey, we need somebody who's going to help close out things in the playoffs, and then trading for James Harden is almost like getting the guy who built the Hindenburg to install the smoke alarms on a plane. Like that's kind of my comparison.
Mhm.
It makes no sense whatsoever. But it worked. I ended up winning that series, so that was fun. And then the Orlando Magic, Jamal Mosley. The inevitable came this morning when he was fired as the head coach of the Orlando Magic. Can't believe they didn't close out that series. It's a tough look. Great for our promo, by the way. Phenomenal. I was thinking about our promo last night. I was like, wow, this is going to be a really tough look if the 7 seed and the 8 seed both end up winning in the first round of the playoffs after I asked the question, how many times do we see a 7 and 8 seed make a run? So glad I didn't have to explain that.
Really saved our bacon.
Really did save our bacon. So also, let's talk about the other team that didn't necessarily save their bacon. The hell happened? Celtics fan?
Oh, you had a
I thought Joe Mazzulla was God's gift to coaching, and
Yeah.
Brad Stevens was already the greatest general manager of all time.
I don't recall.
I heard
ever
they
saying those
were
things.
calling him Brad Auerbach. That's the nickname that was going around the town. I mean, apparently, are you going to hang the banner? Favorites to win the East in year that was supposed to be a transition? Are you going to hang that banner right next to your $13 million trade exception?
I'm gonna question the live by the 3, die by the 3 philosophy. I'm also going to question not attacking the big man who quite literally had one leg in the waning minutes of Game 7.
But he flops all the time.
I don't care about everybody flops. It's the NBA.
That's what your
Get over yourself.
Jaylen Brown's comments about being out to get him because he had so many more fouls than everybody else. Did you see
I
that?
think Jaylen Brown should be worried about other people being out to get him, not Joel Embiid.
Okay, so I was thinking, I get down into these tunnel of thoughts, and I was like, the Mavericks weren't totally wrong about Luka. They weren't completely off. They completely botched the execution of it.
Yeah,
But
right.
if your antithesis is he doesn't take care of his body, he gets hurt too much, and he's the type of player that we don't know if he can necessarily win a championship with. If that is the base of your argument, so far you're not off base. All of those things have happened. All those things have occurred. He has won a championship and he gets hurt, and the Lakers are going to be in the biggest series, and he's not going to be there. But they botched the execution of it. This is a Bill Simmons summer segment for us.
Ooh.
Okay. If we were to properly do the Dallas Maverick Luka Doncic trade, what would it look like?
Oh, you have to get on the front end of it and say, okay, fans, here's what's happening.
You would have to put out a PR campaign. There would be a meeting about the PR meeting.
You got to invite all of Dallas sports radio in and be like, you need to peddle the narrative that he is fat and lazy, and then we will trade him away.
And by the way, not peddle the narrative. You would need months build up to this. You would need to really, and honestly, what I think you would do is sign him to the max contract, then peddle it, and then go ahead and then trade him at the deadline next year. That's probably how you properly do it.
And then you tell the fan base, look, we are we can't be this 6, 7, 8 seed purgatory anymore.
No.
We need to get bad so we can get better.
But we'll save it for the Bill Simmons summer segment.
We're not doing it now.
We're not doing it. This is the Bill Simmons summer.
Sorry, it's summer for Bill Simmons now.
When we get to the summer, we will have the Bill Simmons summer segment.
Okay.
But I was thinking, I was like, Jaylen Brown, like that, like obviously OKC and all the picks and all the players would be probably the team everybody would first go to. But I don't know if they would. I don't think that's as big of a slam dunk as maybe you think. Pairing SGA and Luka together, and then you would have to give up Chet, right, to do that. Like I don't know if OKC would necessarily, as much as people might think, be jumping off to do that.
You can do the Luka trade.
You can do it. They could do it.
You have to.
I don't think they needed to. They would need to do it.
You had to position yourself
the
to
next
do it.
team, though, I thought of was Boston.
Yeah, that was. I remember that being one of the talking points after the trade. People were like, "Oh, if they would have let teams know he was available, Boston would have been one of the teams."
Boston has been. I'll say this: one of the more tiring narratives of my life has been Boston being in on every trade for every superstar ever.
Mm-hmm. I actually agree with this.
Dating all the way back to the Anthony Davis trade, when Anthony Davis got traded to the LA Lakers.
Which one? Yeah.
Like that was literally like they were the team. It's like it's Boston. They're gonna give up Jaylen Brown and they'll give up. Remember they had like the Memphis's draft pick or something like that. That I don't think ended up being anybody too good. But they had all those draft picks that were Danny Ainge was collecting for years and years, in part that they got from that Brooklyn Nets trade when they gave up Kevin Durant and Paul Pierce for a king's ransom, which basically destroyed the career of many people, including Bobby Marks. Is Bobby Marks still on ESPN? As everybody's salary cap guy, salary cap counter, Bobby Marks.
Oh.
Hell of a job, by the way, to be the salary cap guy for
I
the
do the
NBA
math
and
for you,
yeah,
because you're too lazy.
He's like Kornacki with the big
Right.
screen. He's like touching all the buttons.
Uh-huh.
It also got me to thought: how many people are untradeable in the NBA right now?
A lot of bad contracts.
How
in
many?
that league.
How many people are you like? We will not trade this guy. He is like we will. There's nothing you could ever give us, and we will give him up. Wemby 1. SGA 2. I think Cooper Flag is young enough now where you're like, you're not trading Cooper Flag. After that, is there anybody that comes to your mind? Luka, maybe. I think probably Luka. I think Luka would be my fourth. After that, nobody else.
I would say Wemby. Did we say Wemby?
We said Wemby,
sorry.
SGA, Flag, and Luka. I don't think there's anybody else I would not be willing to trade or give up for anything.
I'd like to listen. Yeah, I'd listen to offers on pretty much everybody.
Would you listen to offers on Tatum? I think that would be the next guy that I would say.
I would listen to offers. It would take quite a haul.
But Jaylen Brown's getting traded in the offseason, correct?
We've said that each of the last 3 off seasons, so I can't definitively say.
Reading his comments on how the officiating was not proper and rooted against him was like I felt like I was reading
Joey's tweets.
I feel like I was reading Anakin Skywalker.
Oh,
it's unfair. It's outrageous. How can you go to the basket that much and not get called for a foul?
See, the problem is he should have gone to the basket more.
He goes, Joel Embiid is a great player. One of the best bigs in effing basketball history. Flops. He knows it. This ain't breaking news, says Jaylen Brown. And then he used the word agenda. Okay? He said that the referees have an agenda against him. His quote was, "Why are you targeting me? They clearly had an agenda," he said. "Maybe because I spoke. I was critical of the refs in the regular season. So you know how they responded? We're going to call every, you're going to lead the playoffs in offensive fouls." That was the response from the officiating crew. You could clearly tell. I've actually spoken to some refs and they said it was an agenda going into each game. Anytime Jaylen brings his arm up from reputation, just call it. That was your finals MVP, everybody, from just a couple of seasons ago. So, Jaylen Brown.
When you lose a playoff series, there should be a rule. You don't get to use the internet for the next week.
You know what? I'll say some of the best press conference bits that we've gotten out of the NBA come right after the guy loses a series. It's awesome. They
should not be talking.
No, they should. Oh my God. You just got your heart broken. And like, NBA is all about championships. NBA is all about legacy. And it's like every year that you go by and you don't win a championship, it doesn't get any easier. All these guys know that. When Giannis had would you consider this season a failure? And then he was like, what is success? He was like,
I made the NBA.
I was on the other side of that, by the way. I was like, shut up. This is a terrible season for you. Which, by the way, if you told me that Nikola Jokic and Giannis Antetokounmpo would be on their way to only ever winning one NBA championship,
I would have said, oh,
really?
Giannis stayed in Milwaukee, huh?
Milwaukee really is about to have two of the same guy in their history. They're about to have two of the same guy where they go, they win one title. It's awesome. It's incredible. You're like, oh my God, everything after this is going to be insane. We're going to win so many more championships just for that guy to end up being a Laker and winning multiple titles with them afterwards. And they're probably going to do it both with a flashy point guard that everybody loves. That's the only Luka Doncic, Magic Johnson comparison you will ever get out of me.
If you don't learn from the past, you're doomed to repeat it.
They're going to trade him. They're going to get rid of him. It'll be somehow we have a James Harden, Dwayne Wade argument going on in our YouTube chat.
Feel like there's much of a debate there, but whatever.
Yeah. But there is some talking happening about Ahmad Hudson and his commitment.
Yeah, you weirdos.
Some people are very upset with the young man. We will discuss. Should you be upset? Should you feel this way? How should we communicate it? And did Nebraska really have a chance at getting him? We discuss that and more. Coming up next on Middays with Matt.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Hey, George Thorogood and the Destroyers with the Marshall Tucker Band are in the Metro this month. The Baddest Show on Earth tour, Sunday, May 17th at the Astro Amphitheater. Listen all week to Win Sportsmanlike Conduct for a chance to win your way into the show. It'll be very interesting to see what the crowd looks like at Monday Night Raw tonight here in Omaha. Typically sold out event. Typically a lot of people in and around the Chai. Those events, if you haven't been to one before, if you like to people watch, if you're a people watching guy or gal, it is like the Hall of Fame of people watching. It's insane. Just
All different types.
Dude, the characters that are walking. Now, my favorite crew that I've seen ever at a wrestling event was 3 dads, and it was like their 7 daughters. Like these 3 guys, like I guess they all had little girls, and they're all with them. And the dads all had like matching shirts on, and all of their little kids all had the Jey Uso Yeet glasses on.
Okay.
And they're all walking around, and they were the coolest looking crew on the planet. And I saw them, and I thought in my head, I go, that's gonna be me one day. like that. I want to be that one day. That was awesome. But everyone will be showing off their belts over in the Metro tonight. Be walking across the Chai, be walking into DJ's dugout or mowing Curly's or Let It Fly or wherever it might be over there, showing off their Intercontinental Championship, the old one, the black strap one that was won by Dolph Ziggler in 2009. That one.
That's the one you
Everybody
think is
knows.
the old one.
That
Okay. Great. Grand.
What? I'm not talking about the Ultimate Warrior yellow strap one.
Yeah,
I'm
yellow
sorry.
strap.
Yellow strap was overrated.
I would agree with that.
White strap is the best.
Yeah,
The one that-
agreed.
The one they got now, I'm going to be real. Hot take. I think all the belts right now aesthetically don't look great. I don't even like the big gold belt. I hate the big corporate WWE logo in the middle of the one. It looks plastic. The current one that Reigns is holding, it just looks plastic to me. Doesn't look like the big gold belt.
Okay.
It looks like a Etsy like fan creation that they tried like mimicking the old big gold. They just bring back the old big gold
do
belt. That would have been better. The WCW championship. That would have been dope. Now, moving off of that and on to trying to get a championship belt in terms of recruits. Trying to get your blue chip prospect. And look, I actually think that what Nebraska's done in the 2027 recruiting class when it comes to high school recruits, not only just garnering the commitments that they've gotten from some of these guys, but just the fact that they've been so competitive and in races with top prospects against schools that have had way more success than Nebraska has. I think it's been overall pretty impressive. I think that from a pure recruiting standpoint, from a relationship standpoint, you watch them from the outside looking in, but even when you hear some of the things that are going on in terms of how they recruit, the attention to detail in which they recruit, how they prepare for every official visit, right? Like they are on top of their stuff when it comes to these visits are coming in and the schedules and what they're preparing for. They are good at creating those relationships. They are good at getting in the ground floor, identifying, hey, this is the type of person we think that we might be pretty well off in terms of recruiting and then going after them. And I think that this 2027 recruiting class, the fact that they've gotten some of the commitments that they have is impressive considering the fact that they really haven't done enough on the field to back some of this stuff. And I think that's like the trouble. And Rule's always been very clear. He's always been very, very clear that it's not a pitch. Because we don't pitch guys. We're not pitching to them. We are just kind of laying out who we are. Hey, you're going to come here. You're going to get this. We have these facilities. We have these coaches. This is what we see in you. And if you buy it, you buy it. And if you don't, you don't. And I think that's a very, and I kind of like that. I kind of like the bold strokes way of going about it and kind of the boldness of, look, we're not going to try and bend over backwards for you here necessarily. Where if we think you're right, we're going to come after you, but we're not going to necessarily change who we are in order to get you to come here. And I
Did that once, not going to do it again.
Josh, there you go. Literally. And so I think that they've learned. I think that you can go ahead and you can look across some recruitments that they've had. You can look across some transfer portal experiences that they had. You can look at some roster experiences that they've had, and say, hey, those were learning lessons for them. Like when you hear, I think it was BC who came on the show, and I'm sorry, Brian, if this wasn't you, but it was one of the interviews that we had. I think it was BC came on the show, and this is it. By the way, I've heard this as well. Like this is things that you hear. Like this has been a commonality, a kind of a common phrase we've heard in terms of Calandria and fitting in with the team. That it's felt more natural, right? Things have felt more natural. It's not as forced, and nobody's really taking a shot at anybody. But if you connect the dots and you follow the program, you kind of understand what you're getting at, right? And I think that they've learned a lesson from that. And I'm curious as to if they've learned a lesson from this Ahmad Hudson recruiting cycle, or because it seems like there might be lessons to be learned, and I'm really curious as to, I would love to put truth serum into Matt Rule and be like, all right, like what all really went down here? Like what really occurred? Because Tim Verghese said, so this was in response. LSU landed a commitment for 5-star Ahmad Hudson. Hudson is the number 1 ranked tight end in America. Verghese tweeted out, "This one likely isn't over, but stings nonetheless." Now, the one that really struck me with Tim, which is why I cannot wait to talk to Tim tomorrow, is this, because Tim's awesome. Tim tweeted out this: behind the scenes story on this recruitment is a doozy, and there could still be some potential twists and turns ahead. You'll have to wait after signing day for that. I don't think Tim is going to get on the radio and tell us everything that he knows or anything like that, or anything that he's heard. But I do think that if you just kind of outside looking in at like the timeline of this commitment, everything that went down, right? They get him to Lincoln, battle at the Boneyard. He's catching passes from Trey Taylor. Trey Taylor's committed to Nebraska. Trey at one point, his Twitter account looked like it was an Ahmad Hudson fan page trying to get the kid to come commit to Nebraska. And Hudson was really soaking in the engagement, soaking in the attention he was getting from Nebraska fans. There are some Nebraska fans that feel like they're played because they got so excited about the idea of this guy being on the team. He was flirt. I mean, he was a flirt. I mean, he was flirting some people on Nebraska about the type of thing. And he was supposed to come on an official visit multiple times. Those visits did not work out. For what reasons, we may never know. But it is kind of interesting when you're scheduled over and over and over again to take an OB and then it doesn't end up occurring. And then to who are they competing against, right? They're competing against Lane Kiffin, Will Wade, and Jeff Landry. Okay, if we're breaking down the competition that they have when it comes to the money and the resources and the connections and how these guys work. I mean, they were facing off against Murderer's Row recruiting. I mean, LSU's got a ton of money. LSU has a ton of influence, and LSU has 2 guys, because this is a player that is also interested in playing basketball, has two guys in Wade and Kiffin that their reputation precedes them. Their reputation is they will do whatever it takes. Whatever it takes to go ahead and get a recruit. And so I think that Nebraska, from a recruiting perspective, from a 2027 perspective, they are good at establishing relationships, and they are good at competing, and they are good at trying to get, getting at the front door of a guy that maybe people wouldn't foresee them doing that. It's just now it's you've had how many times can you come in second and we call it a good thing? How many consolation prizes can we have?
You hate
in
participation trophies.
I hate participation trophies. How many times can we go, wow, that's a dude that Nebraska would not have been in terms of their recruitment years ago, and we were right there. Hope you have a great career at Georgia.
Obviously you hope it doesn't go the best over there and he goes in the portal and you can rekindle that relationship and be like, hey, remember us? We were cool. Right?
Like that. And that is one thing too, where I do warn the Nebraska football fans who are on Twitter out there, don't crap on the kid. He's a teenager. He may like attention. That's totally fine. He might look, listen, read Tim knows a lot. Read Tim's tweets. Tim goes, this thing likely isn't over. Well, who's the team in second place right now? That's Nebraska. He might end. Is it going to happen? I mean, he committed to LSU, and it seems like they're doing everything they can to make sure that he doesn't go anywhere. So probably not.
I want to be crystal clear about this, Matt. If you are tweeting high schoolers and are not yourself in high school, you are a pathetic loser. Get a life, get a second hobby. You are a miserable cretin that does not deserve oxygen. Stop tweeting high school kids, you weirdo.
Wow, you're really down the middle on that. Tell us how you really feel?
Just don't want there to be any confusion.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's kind of weird to get after high school kids for doing some things, and them acting like high school kids. It is what it is. The kid might end up committing to Nebraska. Who knows? But I commend them for their recruiting efforts. I commend Nebraska for taking big swings. I commend Nebraska for not laying down to anybody and identifying people that they like and making relationships with them and trying to get them to commit to Nebraska. That's totally fine. It's just, I feel like in the recruiting cycle, though, of Matt Rule, we've had more almost and more recruiting weekends that we get. And we're like, oh my God, look at all these official visitors that are coming in. Look at all these 4-stars and 5-stars and blue chip prospects and dudes who could change a franchise, and like how many of them actually end up, coming to Nebraska and committing to Nebraska. And this is still a 2027 recruiting class that more than likely you follow Tim and you listen to everything that they're putting out there. They're probably going to end up doing pretty damn well, probably be anywhere from top 15 to top 20 and see where other pieces land. It's just, I think that this recruitment, you read between the lines and everything like that, you can kind of put together that they might have learned some lessons from this. And on top of that, it's great to be in contention, but the one thing that Nebraska needs more than anything when it comes to the recruiting isn't a better argument, or isn't necessarily guys who can talk smoother, or guys who can convince guys to come to the school more. What they need is wins. Like, that's why I thought last year was such a massively missed opportunity, was because you were really given an advantageous you were given an advantageous draw to put your flag down and say, hey, we're here, baby. This ain't just talk. This ain't just talk. We got the wins now. We got the pedigree now. We got the momentum now. Things are moving in the right direction. Look at everything that we're doing. Like, that's why I think last year was such just a missed opportunity, because you were given you were given the runway to really say, hey, it's not just me telling you what this is going to be. Look at what we did last year. And that's why I do think when people say the schedule, they're sick of hearing the schedule and they don't like the schedule argument. The one reason why I just push back against that is because when it comes to recruiting, Nebraska football really needs to be able to be like, no, look, it's actually happening. The results are turning into wins. Look at what we're doing. Our development's turning into draft picks. That's why I was so big on that point on getting draft picks, because you got to be able and point to the proof. Nebraska needs more proof to point at. And I get worried about the schedule because this schedule, objectively, is a lot harder to prove the concepts you're trying to explain to people than it was last year. It is harder to prove, hey, we're doing everything that we're doing and it's relaying onto the football field. It's harder to do that when you're playing Oregon, Indiana, Ohio State, Washington, Illinois, and Iowa. It's easier to do that when you play lesser teams to be like, look, well, we're actually getting it done. So that's why I always go back to, man, it was a missed opportunity, and this year it's going to be tougher to do that. But they definitely do have the blueprint to get in on the ground floor and really establish something with these top recruits. But we don't hang banners for trade exceptions, and we don't hang banners for almost commitments. We hang banners for conference championships and national championships. And the point of the matter is that you win national championships and conference championships with the guys like Ahmad Hudson. And as of right now, he's not playing for you. That's tough. All right, coming up next, the odd news here on the 1620 Zone Radio Network.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Hudson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
Josh, let's do it. What do we have today? Do we have a Florida story?
We do.
Okay. We will go elderly. We will go car sales, like a car shop.
Mm-hmm.
Elderly, car shop, and a baseball bat.
0 for 3.
Dang,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not good at this.
It's fun to watch you try, though. A stripper,
Damn it!
who had been fired for bizarre behavior and fighting with coworkers, drugs, was
okay.
I don't know if
I
it's
don't
drugs.
I don't
I'm
know
gonna
the inner
guess.
workings of a strip club, so I don't know like what they get jealous about, or obviously it's got to be money, right? I mean, like any restaurant, you think they get mad about taking someone's regulars,
Yeah, maybe. I
Like
would
no,
think so,
Johnny,
yeah.
no, Johnny comes here and he sits down in that chair. That's my regular. I serve him Coors Light for the last 15 years. Donna just doesn't come here and take him.
Donna the stripper.
No, I'm talking about bartenders.
Oh, bartender. Sorry.
What did the stripper do? Who might have been on drugs?
A stripper who had been fired for bizarre behavior and fighting with coworkers was arrested last week for allegedly attacking the manager of the North Miami Beach strip club with a pole.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, why not? Right?
They're
lying,
there. They're lying around there.
Yeah.
apparently.
I mean, it's. In terms of supply and demand, there's a lot of supply.
23-year-old Princess Aliyah Bell had been allowed.
That is not her first name.
That is the name that is listed in the article. She had been allowed by the manager to return to Taboo. That's the name of the club. To pick up.
That's a good one.
Yeah. To pick up her belongings after being let go. What should have been a relatively short visit turned chaotic and resulted in her arrest after she started swinging a pole around. North Miami Beach police were called to the strip club Monday after reports of a woman battering staff and causing a scene. According to the report, the manager said she started going nuts and running around inside the club, throwing things and cursing until security stepped in and escorted her outside. But that was not the end of the night for Ms. Bell. Her alleged disturbance must not have proven her point sufficiently because she returned with the 7-foot metal pole. Instead of dancing on it, she started waving it around at security, allegedly throwing it and hitting the manager in the leg.
I think that this is her real name because her last name is Bell. And I really do think that her parents thought it would be cool to name her Princess. So she's Princess Bell.
Princess Bell. Okay. There might be something there.
No, once again, I don't agree with it. But I think that's what they were going for. Story number 2.
Number 2. We doing 3 today?
We'll see what we fit in.
Okay, then I want to get this one in.
Get this one.
Over the weekend, the selection show for the men's and women's lacrosse tournaments aired on ESPNU.
Oh, okay, fun.
But somebody leaked the bracket early.
Nice.
Lacrosse fans noticed that the brackets were released on the NCAA official website before the selection shows Sunday night. 7:15 they were posted online, and I believe 8 o'clock was the start of the selection show. And then the guy who covers lacrosse for ESPN, I don't know who that is.
Randy Moss?
No, it's not. He kept revealing bits of the bracket and saying, if you didn't listen to the intern at the NCAA, here's the, he kept poking fun.
Yeah, at the fact that it already got leaked.
Yeah.
That's tough. That guy definitely got fired.
That was one of the big surprises when the intern posted the bracket early.
Yeah.
Anish Shroff said on the lacrosse selection show.
That's tough. That's tough luck.
Yeah.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, don't mean to be that guy.
Anybody hitting refresh on the NCAA
Not
lacrosse
really.
section to
Not
get the
really.
bracket early?
Not really. That'll be our last odd news story. I do think that, do you fire the guy after that is my question.
No, because who else do you have?
Yeah, who's really that committed
Can talk lacrosse
to the
yeah.
bit? How many people can talk lacrosse in our industry?
Mike Golick Jr.
Can he?
Yeah.
That guy can do anything.
Yeah.
He's like the Justin Timberlake of broadcasting.
We should hire him.
We did. Do you think he can play the banjo?
Yeah, if he set his mind to it.
Yeah, I think if Mike Golick Jr. set his mind to anything, he could probably do that. That and cornet. I like both cornets, Shay and Jordan. Both very good at their job. Alrighty. Middays with Matt coming up next. I have a question about Husker football to ask you here on the 1620 Zone Radio Network.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Okay. I have a new game to play. All right?
Okay.
New game. I don't know how often we'll play it, but this is a new game, and it spawns from what happened last week. Okay, where all of a sudden, out of nowhere, in the middle of April, we got into a what side of the line are you on? Are you pro? Are you anti? Do you think it'll work out? Do you not think it'll work out? Why do people find Matt Rule polarizing? Is Matt Rule getting too much flack? Are people too critical of him? That's what we got into last week. So I have a new game. The game is called this. Okay? Bear with me here. What are we going to bitch about this week? That's our new game. What are we going to bitch about this week? Okay? Could be anything. Could be no ranked wins in 10 years. Could be Matt Rule's 2-25 against top 25 teams. Could be about the NIL. Could be about the transfer portal. Could be about Jeff Sims. Do we bitch about Dylan Raiola? Do we get upset about maybe some mishaps in the transfer portal? Do we get mad about the D-line? What are we going to bitch about this week is our new game. I have an early front runner. Okay? So we are, by the way, I want to make it clear, so we don't have any collusion in this. We aren't going to bitch about these things. But we're just going to guess what everybody else
what's
on the internet,
like last
and on
week
the scrolls,
it was postseason tickets.
What are we like? Because we got bored. We got really bored last week. We got really bored. And we really
look, man, not a lot happens in April and May.
Dude, we took the whole conversation to new heights I didn't think we would. And now, granted, I had a little fun during it.
50, 51. What's the difference? Is
seriously,
one arbitrary? Is the other not?
It was something to behold. So what are we going to bitch about this week? Every Monday we will pick what we are going to get mad about. Sith Destroyer in our YouTube chat goes, name of the game is a little too long for my liking. What if we called it Baby Back? Can I say that last word?
I'll give you one time.
What if we called this Baby Back Bitches? I'm just, okay. So here's what we're going to do. My guess as to what we are going to bitch about this week is Matt Rule's contract extension. That's my guess.
Yeah, you were talking about this before the show started.
So
some corners of the internet,
they're finding out about the buyout.
These are obviously some non-local corners of the internet.
Non-local in particular, this young man by the name of Connor O'Gara. Okay, he's the host of the OG Kickoff with Next Round Live, which is,
oh god, I hate all those words combined.
It's described as your home for the SEC, college football, and more. Live show every Monday through Friday, 9 to 12 Central. So hey, they just ended their show. Connor, maybe you're listening right now. Mazel tov to you. You've had a very popular tweet today about our head coach, Matt Rule. Connor tweeted.
Different Connor if you just tuned in the last
Connor
10
O'Gara.
seconds. Yeah.
Connor O'Gara. CJ O'Gara or O'Gara, however you say it, on Twitter. He tweeted this out. Matt Rule's contract made me bust out the Iowa notepad because a coach with a 2-25 lifetime record versus the AP top 25 teams having these buyout numbers is truly insane. And he ran down the buyout numbers. The comment has 21 comments on it. The tweet has 21 comments on it, 27 reposts. Okay. I think Husker Nation might go ahead and get a hold of this. And the problem is that I don't think Husker Nation understands that when they get a hold of it, then Iowa gets a hold of it. And then when Iowa gets a hold of it, it's all over the place. Okay.
So I have a hunch that it's going to be a not fun week for Matt Rule.
No. So my guess for the what are we going to bitch about this week game is the contract extension, and more in particular, the $63 million buyout at the end of this season, the $54 million buyout at the end of 27, the $44 million buyout at the end of 28, the $33 million buyout at the end of 29, and the $21 million buyout at the end of 30. All according to Connor. That's my guess. That's my nomination. I think we're going to get really, really, really upset about the numbers this week. And then we'll move on. And then we'll get mad about something else. This is the thing that happens. Okay? We're going to, and at some point, I'm telling you right now, it'll start to flip a little bit to more positive. Trust me. When we get into July and
the negative
August,
boys always get out there first, and then the positive boys have to come out and defend.
at some point, we're gonna get really mad about the ranked wins, and everyone's gonna be like, "What are we doing here? We already know all about this." Right now, we're kind of in the beginning of the like, "Oh, we got to get somewhat creative," or things get aggregated and people find out about things that we already know about that we don't really want to talk about. Do you have a nomination for baby back bees, if you will?
Boy, that's a really...
What are we going to get mad about this week?
It's a really good one. Wish I would have thought of it.
I probably should have warned you, if I'm being honest with you. This was kind of off the dome because I was just walking around thinking, I'm like, last week was kind of crazy in terms of like we had damn near State of the Unions, it felt like, over how people felt. By the way, I'm guilty of that. We had like a State of the Union on Friday.
Okay, since I don't want to pick the same thing as you, I will say enough is enough with the close recruiting losses.
Okay. I like that.
The Ahmad Hudson thing might set some people off.
You think we're gonna get and then we'll probably might get somebody bold and brave enough to really like delve into all the close misses.
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody is willing to put that spark to that massive powder keg,
yeah, that's all it takes.
That's all it will take. There are really like this is how you know
Nebraska finished in 27 top threes according to graphics from and wound up with 2 recruits.
That's like a Hayes Fawcett tweet.
Yeah, that was the guy I was trying to think of.
There like this has nothing to do with the program itself, but how people feel about the program right now feels like we have a whole basement of barrels of gunpowder. We have barrels and barrels of gunpowder.
So
it just takes one spark in one certain barrel to piss everybody off.
Little insight, I guess it's not insight, it's insight into my own brain, but kind of tinkering with this. I don't think it's enough this year to just win the games you're supposed to win and lose it. Like you got the fan base will explode if you don't upset someone this year. It doesn't have to be that big.
Josh, I will explode.
That it doesn't have to be that Indiana, Oregon, Ohio State triad. Like if they don't win a game they're a Vegas dog in,
so that
people are gonna freak.
I like this. So we've had this conversation with Josh Peterson, and I've had this conversation before about like how many times have they won as an outright like money line dog? And by the way, it was way less than you thought it was, or I mean, it's as little as you think it is. Now last year they won as an underdog at UCLA. They were an underdog in that game.
People forget
they were plus 2.5. Now, I think looking back on that, they probably should.
Weird line.
They shouldn't have been, and I think that Vegas probably underestimated how big of a drop off would happen between Dylan Raiola and TJ Lateef. And additionally, I just think that UCLA team was they had their shot in the arm after getting an interim head coach definitely had worn off when they got to that point, and they were kind of a rudderless boat, if you will. But you're right. They haven't. What's their signature win? What is their signature win?
Great question.
They don't have one.
I mean, just the more desperate the fan base gets, the bigger the win you need to get to satisfy as many people in one fell swoop.
Like, I think we go back and we talk about, and I've said this before, like that USC game last year where Dylan gets hurt, what if they end up winning that game? What if they end up being what they would have been?
Changes a lot.
They would have been 7-2, right?
Yeah.
They would have been 7-2. They would have been 8-2 heading into the Penn State game. Do they lose the Penn State and Iowa games if they beat USC and Dylan doesn't get hurt? Yes, they still lose those games. You just can't. You can't convince me. But
even if they beat USC, like you're in fringe playoff conversation in late November.
But I think
like that's kind of
totally
what the
right.
deal is.
But
right?
I think there would be people. There would be a subsection of people who would be able to convince themselves that Dylan's injury ruined everything. You know.
That's certainly a narrative that's out there about last season, and I can't immediately dismiss
like
it.
how much different is do we feel about this season? And this is now we're getting into the hypothetical trade, but I mean this is kind of what the segment is.
That's what May is.
Like, what happens if Dylan finishes the season out? Like, what happens if he doesn't get hurt? What happens if he plays every single game? You know, the results are still the results, but they win the USC game. What if they're still 8? What if they're 8-4 and Dylan is playing all the way through the year? I think that's a very interesting question to have.
I would come back at you with, boy, do you remember what the effort or lack thereof looked like in the last 2 games?
Sure. Like, and
maybe that's because you were so sad about Dylan.
But I don't. Once again, the point is always this, right? Point always comes back to this. Would they have beaten Penn State and Iowa or Utah with Dylan? No. Would we probably feel the same? Yeah. Especially if he's still left. But you could still harken back and be like 8 wins. But this isn't the point. Like, we always talk about that game. Like, what if they won that game? What if they won the game at Ohio State?
Whoa.
What if they had won that game? What if they had gone into the shoe in a game where nobody gave them a shot, where Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt were on the call because they had to be?
In 24?
Where they brought on Eddie George in the second quarter of the game like it was a damn spring game between red and white OSU.
The first ever producer Josh's Will Compton style hype speech was that game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like what if they win? That's your signature win. That is a momentum win. That is like a holy crap, man. With a true freshman quarterback in a game nobody gave you a shot, you went and you beat that team. You would have stopped. Man, Ryan Day may not have a job if they won that game. You want to think about that?
Some say he shouldn't.
I think that's ridiculous. But he may not have a job if they won that game. They probably don't make the college football playoff.
Yeah, that's right. So he actually would have
gotten
fired.
They would not. They would have had 3, especially if they lost that game. Still lost that game against Michigan at the end of the year, right? If everything else holds serve, they don't make the college football playoff. He doesn't have a job. He's somewhere else. That win, if they had beat, and do you remember who the MVP of that game basically was? John Hull.
That's right.
John Hull. John freaking Hull.
That's why whenever I hear that name, I picture Connor's Gus Johnson impression of him saying, John Hull.
John Hull.
Yeah.
Like, that's your signature win. That would have been one where it's like, we've talked about it before, right? Pointing to the proof, pointing to the concept, having an actual visual representation of what you're saying is going to happening. That would have been it. Black Cat, the AAG.
Jenny Taft.
The All-American girl. He backed off a little bit on the All-American girl this year.
He did. People...
I was a little upset.
Pushed back against it somehow for some reason.
I was upset he didn't really hammer down on the enunciation of the All-American girl. By the way, what has Jenny Taft done to be the All-American girl? Is that's just what we call women who are blonde hair and blue eyed? All-American women?
I think that was kind of the pushback on it.
Okay.
It was like, whoa, you're saying she's the All-American girl?
Well, you know, if she was like an All-American girl doll model of some sort, or like she was an All-American athlete, right? Then you would
Her dad played hockey.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Taft, that's a great hockey last name. Mike Taft, right? What's
John.
John Taft. Are you kidding me? He probably played third line. He probably just hit the snot out of people.
He was a defenseman.
Yeah. I bet he was like 6'4".
And Jenny married an NHL defenseman.
See, that's not surprising either. NHL, you know what? We're not going to go down that road. I wish I was an NHL player.
I'll bet you do, buddy.
I got to close. I talk about hockey so much in terms of my high school career.
It was a good career.
It was a great career. It was a really good career.
You should be proud of it.
I'm not that far removed from it.
You should embellish it.
Oh, I've embellished.
At the bars.
I've embellished. Well, no, I'm not talking. You know what? It's already good for me that like a girl goes, "What sports do you play?" And I go, "Hockey." That's bonus points right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would.
That's already like a good baseline for me. I don't really need to take it any. I've never lied about how far I took my hockey career.
Okay.
I've never said, "Yeah, I played juniors," or "Yeah, I played like D3 or whatever." Does it matter?
There's no records of this stuff. Just
I played
at UNLV. Do they have hockey? I don't know.
Do the Rebels have hockey?
I can't imagine they do.
No way.
Well, maybe. I mean, they got a pro team now.
I'll look that up. You know they don't have college hockey.
They got ice hockey
in Chicago. Do they?
Yeah.
Was it club or is it D1?
Great question.
Do you really want to put a bunch of college-age hockey players in Las Vegas?
Seems like a terrible idea.
That seems like the worst idea ever. It's the same thing with like Arizona State, putting all of those young people in Tempe, Arizona for 10 months of the year. Just sounds like a terrible idea.
This might be club hockey. They played a lot of games.
It's oh, okay. Mike, Bet-Free Mike.
Bet-Free Mike.
UNLV has a high-level club hockey team.
Okay. Bet-Free Mike, question from the crossover. Your thoughts on a Dave and Buster's?
Yeah, is Dave and...
As somebody who works in the field, you work in.
Mike, is Dave and Buster's like a gateway to gambling? Is that the gateway drug of gambling, Dave and Buster's? Is it? Do people view it that way in your line of work? We're not labeling Dave and Buster's anything. We're just simply asking, do people view a place where you...
If you want the context, it was in the pretty early parts of the crossover.
I mean, if you treat... This is a true... Okay, Bet-Free Mike goes, Dave and Buster's is absolutely a kid's casino.
Yeah, it absolutely is.
You never win. Like you literally can't win more than what you put in.
And your child will force you to stay there until they feel something akin to winning.
No, we got to stay. They got free drinks here. They got free drinks. I can get high C whenever I want.
They just comp me some Mozzie sticks.
Can you imagine you walked into a Dave and Buster's and your son had a Ruby card? He had a player's card.
I would.
Attention, all Dave and Buster's players.
But that's part of it, right? You need a card to play the games.
We are about to do our first drawing of our 100,000 ticket prize. If we pull your name, you have 7 minutes to come up to the promotions desk to claim your 1,000 credits of free play. And at the end of the night, the winner will win 100,000 tickets.
Dad, I got to get this mustache comb. I can't leave until I get it.
Can you imagine your kids playing one game the entire time and somebody from Dave and Buster's comes up and says, "We don't need your business anymore. We're good. We're good."
I mean,
could you put a fake blackjack machine? Can you actually? Okay, this is a terrible question. Bet-Free Mike is going to be so mad at me.
Don't anger Bet-Free Mike. He's good people.
Has anyone ever thought of just making a kid casino? Has anyone thought of just like, yeah, we're gonna make you know, instead of losing $100, you lose you pay 10, 15, and we give you a bunch of tokens and stuff like that. Has anyone ever thought of making a fully monetized kids casino?
That feels like such a thing that Michael Scott would do.
Where it's like, no. They're not gambling real money. They're gambling tokens. You know?
Yeah.
This is just Chuck E. Cheese, but Chuck E. Cheese has a roulette wheel, you know?
I'm picturing it in my head.
Can you imagine
a disaster written all over it.
A bunch of 8-year-olds at a craps table,
Yeah.
but it's all like faces of Chucky's different, band members.
Band members, yeah. Wow.
I want to.
What an image.
I want to press on Chucky. Can I press on Chucky?
Oof.
Dad, you can't press the 6. The 6 is the pass line. You got to take your bet off the 6, Dad.
Kid's got a stogie.
Mike goes, I'm anti-kids casino.
Important to clarify your position.
And I want to clarify my position.
Mm-hmm.
I'm anti-kid casino. But I'm simply asking the question, has anybody asked if they could do that before? It's like the art between betting and picking, right? Now you can like gamble on some things online because it's picks,
Sometimes I feel that way when my child buys like blind boxes of toys, like at Target or something. Like he's super convinced that he's going to get the rare one. And I'm like, child, you're not. You're going to get one that you don't like, and you're going to be mad, and you're going to make me buy you another one, and I'm not going to do it.
Did you ever play CS:GO, Counter-Strike Global Offensive?
No.
So, but it was like a teenager and 20-year-old game where it was basically a better version of Call of Duty, and you played it on the PC. It was a very fun game. I loved playing CS:GO. If you know, you know. We'll read Mike's comment in a minute. You would use money to buy crates, and you would buy a crate, and in those crates you had skins for guns to make your guns look cool. But if you went ahead and you opened up a case and you got like a sick skin, you could actually sell it for real money.
Whoa.
So like you could actually like, oh my God, I got a, so it was like top skins plus knives. Like knives were like the currency. So if you got a knife or you got a cool skin, you could go ahead and sell it and then buy more crates. So I remember asking my dad for my birthday party if I could get money to buy cases. And he was like, this is just gambling. He was like, you're just gambling. We're just encouraging gambling. We're buying money for you to maybe get something that's going to be more valuable than what I'm paying you.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just later found out that was the entire gaming industry. Mike goes, kids who gamble before age 12 are 4 times more likely to become a problem gambler. Should have told that to my grandfather before he took me to the track.
I learned how to add addition by counting the marks on playing cards.
Really?
I was having trouble doing it when I was in school, and my grandpa sat me down, and he was watching me one day, and he tells my mom, don't worry about it. He'll be doing math by the end of the day. And my mom goes, okay, whatever, Grandpa, you old kook.
And he was right.
He's like, we're going to play blackjack. But Grandpa, I don't know how to add. Well, you're going to count the clubs on the card, and you're going to add those together, and you're going to know how many clubs you're going to have, or you're going to lose.
It's beautiful. Your grandfather and my grandfather did us no favors. Nebraska baseball did themselves no favors as well over the weekend. We talk about them in softball. Coming up next here on the 1620 Zone Radio Network.
Now, back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Had a very spirited conversation going on about our question. Our question.
We just had a question.
We were just asking, had anybody ever thought or tried to execute the idea of a kids' casino? We just asked.
We don't endorse it.
We're not endorsing it. Bet-free Mike, this is his area of expertise, problem gambling, has stated that he believes that Dave & Buster's is a kids' casino, in his opinion. But we just asked.
Oh, no, it broke Matt. It's okay. We'll get him back.
Sorry. I'm at the point of my sickness where it's like, if I give it one more solid day of like not running around and getting proper sleep and like actually like really taking care of myself, I'd be okay. But that's boring. So I'm kind of just fighting through the sniffles right now, which is what I'm going to do. But anyway, we just asked, Dave & Buster's kids casino, if you will, for Mike, but they don't have a roulette wheel or a blackjack table.
They don't have a clock in there either.
They don't. Do they have a pit boss at Dave & Buster's?
I mean, they probably got a manager, a key holder.
You walk into Dave & Buster's and they look at your ID. They go, "What's your date of birth?" One time, one guy at the casino asked me what my zip code was.
Whoa, that's a good one.
And I was like, and I had just switched over from the Illinois ID to the Nebraska ID. So I knew it because I had to know those numbers and switch them over and everything like that. I think, though, that there would be a maybe not in Nebraska, but in other states, because Nebraskans are very attentive to this stuff. That stuff matters to them, which I appreciate about this state. There definitely are other states, though, and other places in society where it's like they don't care about their zip code.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares? Okay, never use it anyway. I got asked that once. I passed the test, thankfully. But we do have a text into the Prairie Flower Casino Zone text line. A kids' casino could be promoted as a way of promoting math. The payouts on all the table games involve math.
Yeah, sure. I guess so.
Yes, you split your 8s and you got an 18 and a 19. But explain to us what numbers those two create together and what your payout is.
Oh, okay.
You can only win at blackjack if you actually tell us what 3-2 on your current bet is. Payouts on blackjack are 5-6. You're betting $75. What do you make? Your answer is 87.5. Got to know this, guys. Come on. Simple stuff. So that was our happenings from last segment. That and what are we bitching about this week?
It's gonna be something. I'm excited to find out what.
Me too. I can't wait.
I just want to get there.
You and I, we get our hands out of the fire, right? Here's what we do. The fire's going on, right? And we are not like Teddy Atlas. We are not firemen. All right. We are not. We don't put out the fires. We just sit there with little pieces of paper and we just throw the pieces of paper into the fire.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, we're not doing anything. We're not saying anything. I didn't tell John to do that stat. I just gave him the arbitrary number. They should make a parody song. Like, 1 is the loneliest number, but it's 50 is the arbitrary number.
Yeah. Okay, there's something there.
There's a little kick.
Ian, tinker with that. Get back to
Thank
us.
you. From the 402.
Appreciate it. Hi, 402.
I learned that I needed glasses when I couldn't read the odds board in the infield of a dog track. I didn't turn out to be a gambler, but still loved the show. Derek,
thank you.
I've never been to a dog track before. I'm sure Mike Schaefer will take me out to a dog track in Columbus. I'm sure Columbus has a dog track.
Let's go.
That is something that we are going to try and have the show at Fauner Park. And
I don't think there's much try to it. I think it's going to happen.
I think they're officially done with the schedule, but we'll have to wait till next year. But still,
we got 20 years to figure it out.
Hopefully,
at least, yeah.
God, if I'm here for 20 years, that means I married a woman here. That'd be crazy. That'd be a great wedding.
Let yourself grow some roots. Hopefully, I'd get an invite.
Nick Gribb wouldn't. I'll tell you that right now. Just putting that over the air.
That'd be a funny bit.
Oh, it's not a bit.
No, yeah.
There's no shot. There's no shot.
No shot.
There's no shot. There is no shot he get invited to my wedding.
All right.
you know? And then that's the thing too. If I were like, all right, hey Nick, you know, it was a bit 2 weeks before the wedding, I invite him. He'd probably be like, no, I'm frothing that day. We've already got something going on.
Okay, yeah, so you can't let him win in that fashion. So
No.
you have to stick to your
I'll
guns.
stick to
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
bits, if you will.
Yeah, stick to your bits.
One of the keys to responsible gambling is knowing your odds. Absolutely. Horse track in Columbus, not dog track. Okay, I thought they might have had both. Bet Free Mike is on a heater right now. He goes, you could be single in your 40s. Matt, it's great. I bet it is. I bet there are some benefits to it. Let's talk about a team that did not benefit from their weekend.
They did not know their odds.
Well, their odds were pretty good heading into the weekend.
That's what I was told.
If we're being honest, they had to do what we were told was cited as RPI maintenance was the word to describe what Nebraska baseball had to do against the mighty Buckeyes of Ohio State, who entering the series in Columbus were 10-11 in Big Ten Conference. Ohio State was under 500. They were directly at 500 overall in record. They were 21-21 before the weekend. When they swept the ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers, who I was listening to the Happer and Schaefer show. I think they're still ranked. They're 23rd or 24th in the country still after getting swept. It's interesting. It's they haven't been swept all year. It's the first time they get swept. There's a lot of jokes being made in terms of, well, you don't have to worry about hosting anymore, or who's going to get the tickets, or, you know, who gets priority or stuff like that. And there's been a lot of those jokes made. I do wonder, like, I think it's a totally fair question to ask if the allure of hosting a regional, which has been a major goal of Will Bolton since I got into this market 6 years ago, like that was Will's thing. Will kind of always just stated that was something they wanted to do. That's something they wanted to accomplish. That's been on their radar, which is hosting a regional. And, you know, they had put themselves in a very advantageous situation to do that. And look, it's baseball, you know, going on the road is never easy. And, but they had, if you're looking at the entirety of their schedule, the meat and hardest parts of their schedule were vastly behind them, you know? And so you're looking at this series against Iowa, and you're looking at the series against Minnesota, and one game against Creighton, which will take place here in Omaha next week. And the Ohio State series, and like a lot of people who cover the team, you go, hey, this is doable, man. Like you're gearing up for it. You're like, all right, this is a team that has played some really good baseball. And that's the one thing about Nebraska, where it's just, they have, you know, you've had games, you've had some really close games. You've been they've just always been in the fight. That's the thing about this team. They've always been in the fight. They've had all those walk-offs, and they've never given up, and they just have this heart and this grit and determination about them, which honestly is admirable. And they're the type of team where if you're a Cornhusker fan, if you're an alumni of the university, they're a pretty easy team to root for, just in terms of the passion and the fight they play with. And it just, I think that those qualities almost kind of made this possibility like not even a thought in your mind that they would go on the road and get swept in such a big moment. I don't think it's unfair to say that the pressure and the thought and the possibility of hosting a regional and their schedule being very manageable might have gotten in their head, you know? That pressure might have mounted on their shoulders. I think the moment became, especially in these last couple of games, the moments are becoming very, very big. And it's surprising because this team has been in so many big moments throughout the season, and they've been able to persevere through that.
Well, now you look at the analytics, and you're trying to figure out, okay, like, what is this team? Yeah. They're 500 away from home. They're 4-3 at neutral site games. And now you're kind of like, ooh, if this team has to go out on the road in a regional, which it looks like they probably will now, are their backs kind of up against the wall?
Yeah. It's that's an interesting point. I think it just kind of, look, game one, you can't give up 2 runs and lose the game. Like that's just one of those. And credit to the Ohio State kid. He went 8 innings. He pitched a phenomenal game. That's just that kind of happens. That's baseball. And then in game 2, where they ended up losing 7-3, like Ohio State jumped on them. Right, they got up to a 3-0 lead, and then they were down 4-1 for quite a while, and then they made it 4-2, and then the 7th and 8th inning, Ohio State just kind of put it away. That's baseball. Now the game yesterday, I mean, you gave up 7 homers, 7 homers,
6-7.
I mean, they kicked your ass, man. And that's tough. That's tough. Like that's a tough loss. And so I think all of them, all the games in itself are very like unique.
6 homers.
6 homers. Like
all 8 runs. No, I'm sorry. 7 homers. All 10 runs scored via the homer.
I just think that they haven't been swept all year, and they went ahead and they played this game when they're on the precipice of doing something they've wanted to do for a very long time. And I honestly think that the pressure of that moment probably just got to them. And they played a team that was under 500 in league play and at 500 overall, a team that they are very capable of beating, and they've beaten teams much better than that team. They competed much better against teams on the road than that team. I mean, still the whole thing about them like being 500 away from home, like they went to Oregon and could have won 2 or 3 of those games. Like those were super competitive. So I think that series kind of that throws that out of my head. It was a very uncharacteristic weekend. And I think the bigger story out of all of it is Cooper Katsky once again not having the best start. He's allowed 4 or more runs in 4 or more runs in 3 of his last 4 starts. He was their Friday guy. They moved him to Saturday or Sunday. Doesn't really have the best outing. 3 innings pitched, 5 earned runs. It's. I think that this is still a very good team. I still that this team has a ton of fight, and they have a lot of things that they can accomplish and they can do. I don't think there's any reason to think otherwise. But it's just a very tough series.
You got 7 games left in your regular season to go out and prove was this weekend an anomaly, or is that?
I think that everything that they've done in the past can basically certifies that this is an anomaly. I just think it's very curious as to when it happened.
Mm-hmm.
When does it happen? It happens when there's a lot of hype about you hosting a regional. It happens against a team that you are very capable of beating. It happens away from home, and it happens when all you really need to do is don't mess up, right? RPI maintenance, right? We joke about it and we think it's a funny term, but what does it indicate to you? Hold serve. If you hold serve and you'll win all of these series and you go 2-3, 2-3, and 2-3, even get a sweep in one of them, you're putting yourself in a very advantageous situation to host a regional. And they really needed to do one thing, and that's not get swept and not get their asses kicked. And they got swept, and on Sunday they got their asses kicked. And it's very uncharacteristic from this team that has just fought and grinded and played really solid baseball throughout the season, and has this team and all the walk-off wins that they've had and the manner in which they've won some of these games. They are a never say die team. And just the overall performance they put over the weekend was very opposite of that. I'm not selling any sort of stock in this team or their ability to go and win in the postseason, but I do think it was very the combination of events and the combination of like the narrative around this team was very interesting for this to happen this weekend. That's kind of my main takeaway. Coming up next, is it a failure if Nebraska softball never wins a national title in the Jordy Fromm/Ball era? Is it a failure? We talk about that next here on Middays with Matt.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
I think I'm going to start calling April and May Ross Dellinger season.
Okay.
I just think that's when he's like...
That's when he's in his bag.
Yeah. I mean, are we really reading a lot of Dellinger articles about like law and litigation and disputes and media rights and money during the season? Right? And no part in week 7. I'm like, oh, I wonder what FOIA Ross found this week.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm not doing that. But April and May, I'm in there like swimwear, and he's incredible at it. I mean, he's very, 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 very good at it. Last Tuesday, we were told that the arbitration hearing was going to go down. It did go down. 8 hours is apparently how long it went, according to sources between the College Sports Commission and Nebraska when it comes to getting their players, 18 Nebraska football players, NIL deals that originally weren't passed through NIL Go. So we will see what happens there. Definitely a precedent-setting case to see if Nebraska wins their arbitration case or if they lose. And if they lose, more than likely it'll go to the state level where the state will probably rule. Probably, that's at least what's being reported, that the state will rule more than likely in the favor of Nebraska. So we will see what happens there. We should be getting updates on that any day now, maybe any minute now. Also, very interesting, we talked about it last week. So Duke agreed to sell 3 of their non-con games, or to have a deal, rather, with Amazon for 3 of their non-conference games that will now be played on Prime. So Duke collaborated with the ACC and the television partner ESPN to strike the first of its kind agreement, agreeing to future scheduling commitments in exchange for 3 games against Michigan, New York, Michigan and New York, UConn and Las Vegas, and Gonzaga in Detroit, which will now all be put on Amazon Prime. The Big Ten is upset about this, and they are currently claiming, y'all don't own the rights, we own the rights. You can't go ahead and give this game up to Prime and make this deal. So I don't know. Now, reading this article, I don't know if all I've read is that Duke is basically they're going to have a 3-game streaming package with Amazon. I don't believe any like numbers or money numbers have come out as what this is going to cost Amazon and how this might benefit Duke. But it's a 3-year agreement that allows Prime to exclusively televise a trio of Duke neutral site non-conference games. So we'll see how much Duke might make from this or anything like that. But in terms of the Big Ten being like, no, you don't own that game, we own that game, it'll be very interesting to see how they come to that solution, and if anybody can determine who really owns said game, or will Duke have to agree to give a different game to Prime to broadcast. I asked the question before we went to break: is the Jordy Fromm / Ball era a failure for Nebraska softball? They don't win a national championship. I think on the surface level, you could say, yeah, this is a hell of a shot, hell of an opportunity with a very smartly curated team that has a mixture of transfers and homegrown recruits and prospects that are clicking at the right time. And you have a lot of veteran leadership along with, some really impressive freshmen, in particular, Alexis Jensen, who's playing really, really well for this team, who's the second pitcher behind Jordy Fromm. I think on the surface level, you go, yeah, like they don't win a national championship. That's going to sting. That's going to suck. This is, ridiculous. Maybe not ridiculous. Maybe that's a step too far, but you get what I'm saying. People will be very disappointed. I don't.
Yeah, that's a pretty lofty goal. That's hard to.
I don't.
It's hard to win a national championship. I think you got to get to Oklahoma City.
Yeah, but I think this thing. I think you could call it a success now. They've had 2 awesome years. They've been all over national TV. Jordy Fromm, is an established Nebraska established national softball player. They added new seats to Bowling Stadium. They had all these bleachers and these grandstands, and they sold that out multiple times over to the point where they set multiple records in terms of attendance.
You probably grew the game.
You grew the game
yeah.
massively. I went to the Omaha game where there was over 2,000 people there for an Omaha softball game. I don't think anybody really ever imagined that would happen at Connie Clausen Field.
Probably created
And
new fans for years to come.
You had all these, young girls running around with their Geordie Ball jerseys on and having a great time. Like, I think that sports are bigger than wins and losses. Sports are bigger than championships. Sports are bigger than hardware. And yeah, that's what we play for. But at the same time, there is a lasting impact that you can make if you create a inspirational sports story. And I think that Geordie Ball going to Oklahoma for 2 years, having the success that she had, and then returning home to Nebraska to then bring them to heights, in consecutive years that are very hard to get to, I think is an incredible story of its own and has inspired not only just young people, but also a whole array of different types of people, to the point where you have 3,500 people going to a softball game. It's absolutely phenomenal. And yeah, you want them to win a national championship, and damn, it might happen. But if it doesn't, I still think you can look over these last couple of years and be like, man, they accomplished it, man. They got it done. All righty, we'll talk a little bit more about college football schedules. Matt Rule, the whole bang, coming up next on Middays with Matt.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
All right, a perfect series of events out here.
Oh, okay. Love when that happens.
I was intending to talk about the Big Ten Conference because
The big.
it's one of those things where it's almost like Bobby Bonilla Day when we find out how much the Big Ten
That's
Conference
a
made.
great comp, Matt.
Like every year we do this, where
We
we
do.
find out how much exactly the Big Ten made this year and how much they gave to each of their schools. And then we're like, ooh, this school just joined. They got gypped, they got killed there, but they'll be better. And then we all have the same combo of like, yeah, it sucks you can't travel to away games anymore. And, the Texas pipeline has gone to crap. And, being in the Big 12 is in the Big 8 is when you had your most success.
Wow.
But, it feels good to make a lot of money. It feels good to be secure. We have the same combo every single year. I mean, this is the college version of Bobby Bonilla Day, where you find out, hey, Nebraska made anywhere from $76 to $79 million from just being in this conference. What a great decision to move. I've been in this market for I don't know how many years. We've had this conversation so many times. Yeah, there's a lot of downside to it, but money.
Boy, what's our ROI?
But we
on
have
this,
stability. And by the way, we make fun of those arguments. They're not wrong. They're not incorrect whatsoever. But the reason why I said this was a perfect sequence of events is because I was going to talk about the conference, and I ran into this beautiful tweet from the Big Ten Huddle on Twitter.
The Big Ten Huddle.
It's a good follow.
Okay.
It's a good follow.
Okay.
I stand by it.
Okay.
I heard the skepticism in your voice. All right. Now it is May 4th.
May the 4th be with you.
Yes. Yeah. So corny.
Obligatory.
Yeah. Every day can be Star Wars Day. How about that?
Ooh.
They asked Grok, the AI,
Great start.
to assign a Star Wars character to every single one of the teams in the Big Ten. Every team, every school in the Big Ten gets a Star Wars character, a Star Wars image.
I'm on board with this in theory.
I'm going to be real with you.
I wish a human had done it, but whatever.
I'm going to be real with you. Pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Let's start with some of my favorites and then some of the ones that I think are just incorrect. We'll go back and forth. Ohio State is Darth Vader. Are we cool with that? Are we official crowning Darth Vader the main villain of Ohio State?
I think I'm okay with this.
Would
you do Michigan?
I would do Michigan.
Okay.
Now here's my problem. Can they both be Vader? To me, they're both Vader. So what I would do here is, so they have Ohio State as Darth Vader, and they have Michigan as Episode 6, so Return of the Jedi, Luke Skywalker. The main hero. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Whoa.
I would not assign
I gotta pull up a graphic here. Okay.
Luke Skywalker to Michigan.
No.
To me, both Ohio State and Michigan are Darth Vader. And then you know who I would give green lightsaber Luke Skywalker to? Oregon.
Oh, okay.
A New Hope.
A New Hope. Okay.
To slay the empire that was established before them.
One of Ohio State, Michigan. One of them needs to be Vader. One of them needs to be
Darth Sidious.
Okay. I was gonna say Palpatine, but whatever.
The same thing.
An old villain.
I would say Ohio State would be Palpatine and Michigan would be Vader.
Okay.
And then Oregon would be Luke Skywalker. All right, let's get into the good ones though. All right. My favorite one is Finn, who was the stormtrooper, played by John Boyega. He was played by John Boyega in 7, 8, and 9. He's Maryland. Here's why I love this.
Okay.
Both Maryland and Finn were brought in with a big swoop. We're all, hell yeah. Corrupted stormtrooper. Hell yeah. Maryland basketball power. This is going to be great for the conference. And very quickly after, we just forgot about him. We just didn't care about him anymore. We were like, who gives a damn? We just completely neglected them and put them in pretty tough situations to succeed, if you ask me.
Accurate.
Finn was absolutely just said, who cares about him anymore? And Maryland should not be in the Big Ten. Okay. The two ones where I'm like, hell yeah, I'm all in it.
Okay.
These were the easiest ones, in my opinion. Northwestern to C3PO. But
okay.
But Purdue being R2D2.
Okay, this is the one I'm looking at. That
is sublime. Here's why.
Oh, okay.
Here's why this is sublime. They got a great engineering program over at Purdue. Okay.
Oh,
but secondly, they're just a bunch of dorks over there.
They're
a bunch of dorks.
It's not a threat. R2D2 is not going to beat you. Purdue's not going to.
Not in football.
It's a layup.
And here's another thing too, because at Purdue, they're not like the party school that Illinois or Penn State or Iowa is, right? But they're also not like the super smart academic school overall that like a Michigan is or Northwestern is. You know, or like they're not on that level. I think I'm almost positive Illinois has got a better engineering program than Purdue does.
Whoa.
So
careful.
It's one of those things where it's like, what is Purdue? What is the Boilermaker? I think this is perfect putting that R2D2. Mace Windu being Illinois.
Do you like this one?
Illinois is a party school. Illinois is a fraternity school. Illinois is all about the Greek life.
Was Mace Windu a party Jedi? Poll question.
Mace Windu's just cool.
Okay.
He's just cool. And he's also very smart. Illinois, very good school. People don't know. I think that this is perfect. I think that this is phenomenal. Mace Windu being Illinois. All right. What did Nebraska get?
Yeah.
People might ask.
That's what they're asking.
Nebraska got Han Solo.
They're in every other Big Ten market. They're probably doing this exact same segment and wondering why Nebraska is Han Solo.
Can I adjust it a little bit?
Please.
We give Nebraska old Han Solo.
Oh, from the new trilogy.
Because old Han Solo, yes, Spoiler the one who died. The one who got, and maybe we make Kylo Ren Iowa.
Oh no.
But
now on this,
here's
Kylo Ren is Michigan State, Yoda's Iowa.
Here's why this is great. First off, Yoda being Iowa is awful, terrible. Makes no
I don't
sense.
get that one.
It makes zero sense. Iowa should be Lando Calrissian. That's who Iowa should be. Because that's a party school.
This Big Ten school with the least amount of Lando Calrissians should be Lando Calrissian. I get what you're saying. No, it's fine. I get it.
Here's why Nebraska should be old Han Solo. It's perfect. It's perfect. Because Han Solo in his prime was cool. Han Solo in his prime was the guy. Han Solo was a side character in 4, and then 5 and 6 it was a lot about Han. Han was the man. Harrison Ford was the dude. He was Indiana Jones. You couldn't go anywhere in cinema during that time without running into Harrison Ford and how awesome he was. You couldn't tell the story of college football or tell the story of sport in college without Nebraska in his prime. But Han Solo in episode 7 was old. Han Solo in episode 7 was weak. Han Solo in episode 7 was a shell of what Harrison Ford and that character used to be. And it almost was kind of sad seeing that character in that light. It's almost as if you wish you didn't see it. You wish you just, Han died, no big deal. You kind of wanted to unsee what they did to your boy Han in episode 7. Tell me where I'm telling lies, everybody. That's not Nebraska.
Yeah, no,
that is Nebraska. Old Han Solo is Nebraska. Nebraska used to be the S. They used to be the guys. And now you look at where they are football-wise, and you go, damn. I miss the old Han. Go ahead.
Can I ask a question about this?
Yes.
Rutgers is Boba Fett?
It makes no sense.
Okay.
Indiana being Ahsoka Tano, kind of get it. Ahsoka's like a newer character that everybody loves. I think you can kind of fold that into football. UCLA being Rey. I don't know. I just don't like Rey in general, so I don't really know where we're going. You know, I don't really know what we're doing there.
Matt out on women.
No, I'm not out on women. I think it's a tragedy that Princess Leia somehow is not on.
Oh, good question. Yeah.
Or Padme. I would say Princess Rey's not even a top 3. She's not even a top 2 woman character in Star Wars.
Is Rey young, up and coming? Is that what they're trying to say about UCLA?
No, but I think the one to the left of it is perfect.
Yes. USC is young Anakin, not young Anakin Skywalker.
Just Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah.
They should be better.
They used the absolute correct photo as well.
It's great. They should be better. They're angry about it. We're
Mhm.
spending all this money. They can't get a seat at the big boy table. You know? How can you be on the council and not be given the rank of master? How can we hire Lincoln Riley and not be in the college football playoff? It's unfair. It's outrageous. I've brought peace, freedom, security, and justice to my new empire. Your new. Okay.
I can't believe they didn't assign Jar Jar Binks to one team in the Big Ten just to get
Get that fan base riled up.
Yeah.
You know what? The Baby Yoda being Minnesota, pretty solid.
Mhm.
Pretty solid.
People like it.
People like it. People
Doesn't
don't
necessarily get the most wins.
No, but at the same time, it can hit you out of nowhere. It
Mhm.
could hit you like a Mack truck.
Yeah.
It could really mess you up. Ask Matt Rule in the football program.
Matt Rule told everyone
He-
Minnesota
no.
was a real competitor.
He was like, guys, I was the only one.
Nobody would listen to me. I'm
By
just
the
the
way,
head coach. What do I know?
I think he thought that might have been a better look when he said it. You know?
Yeah, I'm sure
hasn't-
it sounded great in his head when he was walking to the
You know what?
podium.
Credit to Matt. Matt has not had as many of those farts as
Mhm.
Scott did.
Yeah.
Scott had plenty of those where he thought something was way cooler
You
than
know,
we
I'm going to
perceived
say
it to
something
be.
and people are going to go, damn, this guy's a genius.
Like our offensive line is throwing up all the time at practice.
They're
I
just
think
working so hard.
I think he thought that was a good line, and then people were like, "Oh my god, they shouldn't be throwing up that much."
Got a real problem.
Yeah, Matt hasn't done that. Coach Rule hasn't done that. He's not done that. He's way more thoughtful about what he says. That was a tough one. That was. I mean, he didn't say it, but he basically did say, "My coaches wouldn't listen to me," which is tough. It's a tough one. I'm a fan of the list. I think that this man, the Big Ten huddle, did a lot better job than I thought he would.
Did a pretty good job.
Yoda being Iowa makes no sense. There's nothing
Look at that
Yoda.
one.
There's nothing that makes zero sense.
Slow, simple. I'm just guessing. I'm just
If you
trying to
really
figure it out.
if you really delve in deep, Han Solo makes a ton of sense for
It
Nebraska.
does.
They really were. Now, I will admit to you, Josh, you're going to get very mad at this.
Oh no.
All the Indiana Jones movies, they kind of just all blend together in my head.
Oh, for me as well.
I don't really remember which one is which.
I can only tell you what happened in the Sean Connery one because Sean Connery is such an important part of that movie.
Well, that was the one where they were both tied to the chair,
Mhm,
right?
yeah.
And they both like kept switching back and forth and whatever. I don't know. The one that had the blonde woman. By the way, that blonde woman, has she popped up on This Week in Women's History?
Might have to do Kate Capshaw this week.
What's her name?
Kate Capshaw,
God, she was
married to Steven Spielberg.
really
Mhm.
childhood crush.
Whoa.
She was gorgeous in those movies.
Yeah.
She was stunning.
That's why Steven Spielberg was like, I have to have her.
Is he? See, I don't like. I know Spielberg, just great movie, great director, everything like that. But like, I don't know his personality. Like, I know that like,
Seems to be a relatively nice guy. Yeah.
okay, he's just a normal dude.
Mhm.
Okay,
The f-
controversies in his life.
I'm sure there's some. I mean, putting her in the movie was a big controversy at the time.
Schwartz in the YouTube chat goes, Nebraska
Schwartz.
has the best shot at direct Jar Jar comp. Unfortunate to say, but hard to argue with the last 10 years. I would say Washington.
Washington, Georgia Bay, they have a title.
Here's the thing. Does it make sense? Does Washington in the Big Ten make any sense to you?
Oh, no, not particularly.
Okay, does Jar Jar in the movie make any sense to you?
No.
That's the one thing about Jar Jar. Like, people hate the voice and like, Misa tired. Misa in big doo-doo now.
There's
like,
there's a bunch of Jar Jar Binkses in the Star Wars universe. Like, there's a bunch of characters like that. They just let this one talk.
Misa grateful. Like, that's one of those things where I don't care about Jar Jar because he's a nut or he's a kook. It's just I don't care about Jar Jar because you can eliminate Jar Jar from the movies and it does not matter. Like nothing changes.
Mhm.
Nothing changes. That's just my biggest problem. I think that's the thing with Washington. You take Washington out of the Big Ten. No offense to the Washington fans out there. I think you'd agree with me more than anything. It's just not. It just doesn't make sense for you to be here. So what do they do? What are they really doing? You know, like what are they? I'm not trying to say what do they contribute as if like I'm a big, I'm a big wig being like you got to bring value to the conference. I'm saying just for the Big Ten sake and for your sake, what is your place here? I think Washington, like by the way, all those teams in the former Pac-12 should have just the Pac-12 no longer being a thing. It's very frustrating. It's very frustrating. And you always get back to being reminded over like when college sports was more regional is when we had a little bit more fun. I kind of like the idea of like there being a bunch of games going on across the country of high level football that I didn't really fully pay attention to unless it was a big one, you know?
I did like having some West Coast football to come home.
See,
to.
that's my thing too. Like I would have loved now at this age where I have all the time in the world to be like, oh hell yeah, Washington plays
9:30 kick, 10:30 kick, 11 kick.
I'm not doing anything. I'll just sit here. I'll drink a couple beers, watch this game. Perfect. Oh, I'll call my buddy. I'll put $10 on it. Something like that. That would have been fun. I never really. Now I get that with like UNLV and Boise, which not a bad game, but not the same.
Sure,
not the same. Sith goes, yeah, I don't think asking another team what your place in the Big Ten is going to land well from a Nebraska media member. I get what you're saying, but oh no. No, hey, hand up. Totally agree with that comment. Couldn't agree more. Definitely not my place. I am not the judge, jury, and executioner in terms of who does and who doesn't belong in the Big Ten. Now, I do hail from another Big Ten school as well, from where I grew up. So I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of the conference. Just doesn't make it, and it's nothing against Washington. I have nothing against them. Just what do they provide? Why are they here? What do they do? They're just along for the ride and for the paychecks, which they got a portion of.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to make jokes, but I was not. I wonder if this Matt Rule buyout tweet is going to get more run.
It's just sitting there waiting for someone to aggregate it.
No. I really want to win.
I was going to say.
I really want to win. What are we going to bitch about this week?
Is that the reason you really want this tweet to pop? That so you can be right?
I look.
I don't think you want the discourse this week to be about Matt Rule's buyout.
That's the bit. I just want to win, baby back bitches. That's just all I want to win. Yeah. That's every Monday we pick what we're going to bitch about this week. And I want to be right.
I like the idea of this segment.
I'm not going to force it. I'm not the one who's going to start the bitching. But yeah, I want to win. Why don't you want to win? We all should want to.
I want the discourse to be, man, I think this team's going to be really good this year.
Yeah, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think that's going to be any week between now and August.
Yeah, you got to win. You need a signature win.
They're going to start 5-0.
You know what they told us when we started the show? We needed a signature guest. We have one coming up next. It's Robin Washut of On3 and Husker Online joining us next on the 1620 Zone Radio Network.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
I want to remind you, 1620 The Zone has a 4-pack of tickets to the upcoming Nebraska versus Creighton baseball game at Charles Schwab, Tuesday, May 12th at 6 p.m. Listen all week to Apper and Shape with the chances to win your way in. You can also catch the game right after in Sportsmanlike Conduct here on 1620 The Zone. We bring in a very special guest, writer for Husker Online and On3, reporter for Husker football, Husker basketball, and also known New York Giants fan, Mr. Robin Washut, joins Middays with Matt. Robin, we were looking at the highest selling rookie jerseys here. We have FS1 on. They have the list of the highest selling rookie jerseys. First, before we dive into the nitty gritty here of our interview, are you for or against grown people wearing jerseys?
I think it's okay as long as the jersey you're wearing is the guy's older than you.
Okay.
Like me wearing a current player's jersey is not cool at all. And even then, like, it's got to be like special occasions. Like,
sure.
I usually kind of say that once you're probably out of high school, it's probably time to stop wearing jerseys.
Yeah.
I just got to think about wearing another man's name on my back. It's just kind of a personal philosophy. But if you feel like you need to do it, at least do like some like old legend, like from your childhood. That at least is a little less cringy in my opinion.
So here's a counter argument to your point though. Not wearing another man's jersey or another man's name on your back. Do you think it's even cornier though to get a custom jersey with your last name on
it? Depends. Like if it's a kid doing it, then maybe. But yeah, if I'm 43-year-old Robin showing up wearing a
Washut jersey,
Giants jersey, I'd say that's probably worse than wearing an actual player's jersey.
Yeah, I wonder what people say. Like, oh, who is he? What do you get? What do you say? Like, oh, he's a special teamer. He's
an all-time fan. That's who he is.
Absolutely. And an all-time reporter of Nebraska basketball. We're basically done with the portal. I mean, we had Wilkinson, the last-minute addition from South Dakota State to Nebraska. A lot of size being added. Just your main takeaways. I mean, I'm not going to put you in a corner and say, hey, Robin, did they win the portal? Did they lose the portal? But, now that we've kind of have the whole picture together what this roster is going to look like, what is your takeaway, your biggest takeaway from what they've done this offseason, Nebraska basketball?
Probably that it's just kind of the next layer of this, I guess now going on 5-year process of just kind of rebuilding what they want Nebraska basketball to be, and with the culture and the identity and the pieces that they're specifically looking for. I thought that this was kind of like that next step. And what I mean by that is, like, for the first time in this process, they've actually had tangible success to build off of, like real, like postseason run in March type of success. And then they were able to retain that. Like, how many years have they had, they made the tournament, but you lose Casey and, all the rink's not going to play next year. So, like, there's all these things like where you're having to, replace pretty much like the entire nucleus of that team. Whereas, like, you still have some big shoes to fill, obviously, this year, but bringing back Price, bringing back Braden and Kale, investing in Leo the way that they did, like, I think that gives them a much further ahead starting point than they've had in previous years. And they were able to continue to build on that. Getting Sam Orm, I thought, was the first real big domino. And then, filling in with Trevin Lenhart and, getting some of the shooters around him with, Bowden Kapke, as your new starting 5-man. Like, so they, I think that's kind of the luxury of knowing who you are and what you need to be successful, and the types of players you need to have that formula work. That's, an advantage that a lot of teams don't have right now, where they're kind of, resetting their roster every single offseason and adjusting what they do based around the skill sets of each individual team. Well, now Nebraska, they have their system, and they're recruiting guys that fit their system and fit their culture, which I think is, again, this has been a long process and a long 4 years to get to this point.
Yeah.
And I thought this was a positive step, continuing that direction of, not just trying to build something to get to where you want it to be, but now it's about sustaining success and then taking it even further to that next level. So it's kind of uncharted territory for Nebraska basketball, but I thought they did a good job for what they needed and who they got.
Let's look at the current and past landscapes of teams that won at a high level in college basketball. Michigan, very big. Ade Mara, Marez Johnson, Axel Lindenborg, all those guys, 6'9" plus, Mara being a 7-footer. You look at what Purdue has done at the center position, even after Edey, right? They go and get Clough and Trey Kaufman-Renn, 2 big guys. Then if you want to go out of the Big Ten, right? Florida, super big, Ruben Chinyelu, Condon, a lot of just size throughout college basketball. Seems like a path that a lot of coaches and general managers are really going down when it comes to managing and building their roster. Do you think that Nebraska kind of looked around college basketball and said, hey, a lot of guys, a lot of these teams are building off of their size, their foundation is their size, and kind of, I don't want to say copied, but took points away from that because this is a pretty big team. I mean, this is probably going to be the biggest roster that Fred ends up having, correct?
Going to be up there. Just across the board, Leo's the only 7-footer they have, but I think 1 through 5 can, in theory, be, if they really wanted to go big, they could be 6'7" across the board.
Yeah.
From every position. So that's certainly a luxury, and I'm certainly something by design. But I think you go back to, what was it, 2 off seasons ago, where I thought that they overcorrected in that regard. You go back to the 23-24 team, it was the lack of size, lack of physicality, especially in that A&M tournament game.
Yeah, great point.
Everybody was talking about, and it felt like they kind of went too far in trying to get bigger and stronger and more physical, to where they sacrificed skill and shooting to have size and better post defense and better rebounding. So I thought this was a good blend of getting bigger, getting front court pieces that, should be able to give you maybe as much depth in the post as Fred's had since he's been here, but also maintaining a level of skill. They don't have a Rink Mast, and Rink Mast is kind of a unicorn with the way that he was able to operate as a shooter and a passer. But, I think they like a lot of what Bowden can do. And so they can still do some of the same things. With Sam Orm, they can do a lot of the same things that they did with Rink. And so it might not look like it did last year, but, I think that they have the size and the pieces to be competitive with the kind of overall size of the top of college basketball, but then also stay, true to what they are with, that 5-out offensive system where, they're bigger, but every guy on the floor can give you at least some level of competent shooting from the perimeter. When Fred has that, that's when that offense really clicks. So I thought they found a good balance this year where, 3 off seasons ago was all about offense. They overcorrected and went all defense. Now I think this off season is kind of where they found that nice blend where they are bigger. They have, enough post depth, but they also didn't sacrifice their offense and what they want to do on the offensive side of the ball.
Do they want to play more guys? Is that an emphasis just because, they played 7 last year and they could.
They usually don't go much more than 8 or 9 at the top. And a lot of it is because you got to find the guys that you trust. And right now, sure, everybody looks good on paper, but you just don't know who's going to play well together. This is still a bunch of new faces that have never played a second of college basketball together and have never faced in-game adversity together. And that's just kind of the year-to-year life in the portal that, Nebraska's not alone in trying to figure that out. So the good news is they do have a lot of options. There's multiple guys just like last year where, you can, make a pretty strong case for guys to be starters or, fixtures in the rotation. But as we learned last year, you can have as much depth as you think you have, and it can disappear very quickly where you don't get anything out of Oogie. You don't, Connor Season's out for the season by November. And then Kendall Blue wasn't the type of player that you thought he was going to be. And so all of a sudden, you went from having 12 guys to, maybe 9. And then, some players it just doesn't click with them, or, you can only use them in certain spots. And so right now it seems like they have a lot of players and they could theoretically go 10 to 12 deep, but they're not going to. One, because that's just too many guys, too many mouths to feed.
Yeah.
Especially once the grind gets real in conference play. But also, just the reality is that some of these guys probably might struggle to adjust to the next level, or might not fit in this system the way that they had hoped. Guys are going to get hurt. There's going to be injuries that come along the way. So it's good to have different or a wealth of options to adjust as needed over the course of the season, depending on how guys translate to the Big Ten level, how much they're able to stay healthy, and all that stuff. So I guess we'll see how deep they go, but usually they don't. When you're talking about like meaningful games in February, you're probably not going much more than 8, maybe 9, depending on the game.
Can I ask you about Will Cooper? Because he's a guy where I think he gets forgotten about a lot. Transferred from Air Force last season, didn't play at all, if any. I think he redshirted, right? So he was a sophomore last season, going to be a redshirt sophomore this season. Is he a guy like I've heard a couple thing or two from people being like, hey, they like him and he's practiced well, and is he a dude that you think could potentially be competing for minutes?
Yeah. I mean, he'll certainly compete. It's just a matter of can he defend well enough to make himself a fixture? That's what got Kale. There's a lot of easy comparisons between Will Cooper and Kale. I think Cooper is bigger and he's a better shooter than Kale is, but what made Kale so invaluable is that he could defend 1 through 5, depending on the opposing lineup. He could bring up the ball as a point guard. He could play power forward. He could do a lot of different things that made him that kind of Swiss Army knife. And when you have a guy like that one can do a lot of different things, but maybe more importantly, 2 knows where he's supposed to be, where the ball's supposed to go, and how to do the right things in any given situation, that's kind of the separator. So I think Will Cooper has the opportunity to follow a similar line to Kale, to where if he sticks it out, continues to work, and continues to master the system, improve his defense. Yeah. I mean, I think he's got every opportunity to be a guy, but right now it's just, we need to see him make that jump, particularly on the defensive end of the floor. And then again, he's got a lot of competition ahead of him. If these freshmen are what they think they are, and if this portal class is what they think it is, that it's going to be about as heated of a battle every single day to get minutes. So he'll have an opportunity. I have no doubt about that. Now it's just a matter of how big of a jump he can make this summer to put himself in position to lock up a spot in that day-to-day rotation come the start of the season.
All right, I'm gonna put you on the spot here. The Big Ten will be better or worse next year than it was last year.
I don't know how it can do much better.
I know
that's about as good as it gets. So I'll just play the odds and say they're maybe they don't win the national championship and have half the field of the Final Four. I don't know. That was about as good of a year that the conference could have had. It's probably one of the best years that I've ever covered in going on 20 years doing this. So it's hard for me to see him doing better. So of the 2 choices, I'll say worse, but I don't think it's going to be much worse. Maybe you're talking about, like I said, not the conference not winning the title, or getting that many teams that deep into the Final Four or Elite 8. But I think top to bottom, the league is as always going to be really good. Michigan's not going anywhere. Indiana's going to be better. They just dumped a ton of money into their roster. Maryland did the same thing. Just go across the board. There's some very expensive rosters in this league, and from a on paper talent perspective, they're as good as any league in the country. So if they are worse, it's not going to be that much worse, and it'll be a grind for 20 games, just like always.
And you can't forget about Illinois bringing back all the Europeans.
They're a national title contender right now.
I know. I'm in a pool where you only get to pick one Power 5 team. I might end up picking that because it's all about continuity, right? That's the name of the game in a way as well, as opposed to getting new guys. So it'll be very, very interesting. I wanted to see if you were going to be bold and say no, they're going to be better, but you're right. You can't get much better than what they did this year. And like you said,
set awfully high.
So, well, you're right. They got half the Final Four, but they also got 5 teams in the Elite 8 or something ridiculous like that. It was crazy. Robin Washut of Husker Online and On3 joins us every Monday at 1:20. Thank you so much, Robin. We'll talk to you soon, my man.
Sounds good, Matt. See you.
RW. I don't know if anybody's ever called him that. I'll ask him that the next time we have him on.
Yeah, we gotta try that on.
RW is a good one.
Yeah,
That's a strong one. JW, I don't really like. Sorry, John Walker.
that's okay.
But we call him Whiskey.
Yeah,
Or Walks. Or John Walks. Or Jay Walks.
Jaywalks. I like
Jaywalks is a good one. Good one. Anytime you can like nickname your buddy after a crime, it really ends up going well. We will wrap up the show with what to watch and the dog of the day coming up next here. The 1620 The Zone Radio Network. All right, Josh, what are you watching, my man?
We are watching NBA playoffs. A couple of game ones tonight on NBC. Sixers, Knicks at 7, followed by Wolves, Spurs at 8:30. Ant-Man, at last report, was going to try to play, which tells me he's not going to play just yet. Hockey tonight, Flyers, Hurricanes, 6 o'clock on ESPN. Canes lead that series 1-0. And then a game one out west, Ducks and Knights, 8:30 on ESPN. Major League Baseball, the dumpster fire game of the week for Matt McMaster, Brewers Cardinals at 6:45.
That's the meteor game.
Yeah, big meteor. If you have a book report due, maybe you're in high school and someone has assigned you to read Lord of the Flies, the limited series premieres on Netflix today.
I saw that.
And finally, the Met Gala is on YouTube.
Ugh, yuck.
Watch everyone wear weird outfits to a weirdo fashion show.
Bunch of rich people telling me how I should live my life. No, thank you. No, thank you. I actually literally want people who make my salary to tell me how to live my life.
Matt, tell us the dog of the day.
All right, folks, let's talk right now. I'm going to kill your bookmaker. I'm going to rip his throat out. I will blow this man out. I will step on his throat until the man chokes. Let me tell you how. Dog. Winners. Dog. Winners. Dog. Winners. Dog. Winners. Dog. Winners. I'm on a roll.
Dude, you gotta love dogs, right?
All right. I love dogs. I also like ducks.
Quack, quack.
In particular, the Anaheim Ducks. They are plus 140 underdogs tonight against the Vegas Golden Knights and John Tortorella. So give me the Ducks plus 140 to win game one of the seven. Yes, John Quinville. Very interesting relationship I have with them.
I bet.
It's we don't have to talk about it yet. If they keep winning, we're gonna have to. But let's see what happens. Tortorella versus Quinville. What a coaching matchup.
Yeah.
In the first half or in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
That's quite incredible. An incredible game happened yesterday between the Avalanche and the Wild. It'll be that probably is the de facto Western Conference Finals. Thank you so much for listening to Middays with Matt. This was a fun show here on the 1620 Zone Radio Network. USC and the Crossover coming up next.